an inquisition as to why.
Why didn't they come out like that?
There goes the full-time whistle. Spurs 2, Man City 2. It all ends at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. City 2 up in the first half. Spurs come back into the game. It's 2 more drop points in the title race, though, for Man City. This has been talkSPORT Goals. If you're on talkSPORT's YouTube channel or your smart TVs, don't go anywhere. Literally in a couple of minutes' time, Ade Oladipo and Pardew are taking your calls on a busy day of football. Guys, well done. We'll see all of you on Saturday.
See you on Saturday.
The Final Word show is next.
The only problem I have with him, he done it again on the weekend against Arsenal. He played a pass to Mbeumo, and he was at fault for a poor pass. And he's thrown his arms up at Mbeumo, and then Mbeumo's actually giving him some back of like, come on, as a player, you don't like players throwing your arm.
Why is that wrong? That happens all the time.
I was going to say.
But as a player, having played it at the game, anybody throws your arms up at you, you always have, you don't like it. Ask any players playing now, you don't like it. That's what he let himself down at. Garnacho copied him.
Don't compare Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes.
I'm saying he copied him. I'm not comparing him. I'm saying he copied. It's not a good example when you're throwing your arms up at your teammates. What he does on the pitch, his performances,
but isn't
outstanding.
That because he's from a different culture, from a different sort of upbringing, and
it's
he's
a
got
Portuguese mentality.
Demeanour. He has, if you look at Jose Mourinho and the way he conducts himself, it's different to the way that Michael Carrick conducts himself because they're brought up in different cultures. And if you're going to have the World League, which
who else do you see do it?
Loads of players do it. Go watch Spanish football.
No, in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's the point, Sam. I spend a lot of time in Portugal, as you know, and they are that sort of mentality. They are an expressive population. So I think that's why it stands
does
out.
it quite a lot, doesn't he? He gets the
but also just
up in the air.
Graham Souness is going back to a different world, really. I don't want to say prehistoric views, but they don't make captains now like they did in his day. I've got a list of Premier League captains here. I bet you can't tell me who the captain of Fulham and Manchester City is. You were looking at my screen. Tell me who the captain of Manchester City is officially.
Manchester City is Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, but is he? He's not an old school Roy Keane.
He's another one who's quite
John
demonstrative,
Terry
similar
captain.
sort of thing, which shows you that it might well be a Portuguese.
Who's the captain of Fulham?
Fulham is Kenny.
Yeah, but again,
another correct one.
You've been looking over my
I
screen.
I haven't looked at your screen.
But you get my point.
He's the club captain, isn't he?
Yeah, yes. But if you look, Reece James is the Chelsea captain.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final word with myself, Ade Oladipo, in for Majestic, who's loving it in New York at the moment, obviously with experienced manager Alan Pardew with me, as always. Crazy game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. One-way traffic in the first half. City 2-0 up and cruising with goals from Cherki and Semenyo. And then a Dominic Solanke fight back with 2 goals of his own, one of which goal of the season contender. If you haven't seen it, wait till you see this. There were boos at half-time and cheers and singing at full-time. Don't we love football? Surely, though, the winners of that game are Arsenal, who are now 6 points clear with 14 league games to go. It's theirs to win, people. 03717 22 3344. The phone lines are open right now. Elsewhere, free from free for Michael Carrick as Manchester United interim manager. A 94th minute winner from the under pressure Benjamin Šeško secured the 3 points to take United to 4th after it seemed Fulham had rescued a point. Arsenal quieting down the noise after no win in 3 in the league. They thumped Leeds 4-0. Pressure eased somewhat on Liverpool manager Arne Slot. Hugo Ekitike, the star man, as Liverpool ran riot 4-1s winners to boost their Champions League hopes against Newcastle. Remember, talkSPORT is now bigger than ever. We're on YouTube and on your smart TVs. So come and watch us live in our fantastic new lovely studios here on the 17th floor. But now it's all about you and your views. So give us a call right now, 03717 22 3344. Come and have your say on the final word phone. Pards, how are we, sir?
I'm very good. I mean, what a cracking game, actually, in the end.
Game.
Didn't look like it was going to be, but it is in the end.
Crazy game, wasn't it? And as I said in my opener there were boos at half-time. Loud boos. There was jeers.
Well, obviously, with the record that Spurs have at home, not just under Thomas, but with before Revenge, they've had to really put up with some awful performances, and that was right up there, that first half. I thought Manchester City were wasteful, actually. I think they could have had an extra goal, or perhaps they should have. Be interesting to see what Pep says, because second half, Thomas Frank made the change, went back to a back four, pressed a little bit higher, got some joy, and suddenly looked a different team. Confidence started surging back into the individuals, and in the end, you got a team performance that warranted a draw, no more, because in the first half they were poor.
Yeah, Romero went off at half-time. We're still waiting to find out what the reason
want to clarify that, don't we?
Yeah,
because he's got that edge to him, hasn't he? You can imagine. Can you imagine he might have said a few choice words, and the manager went, "Look, it's not for you second half." Because you don't want a player getting overly emotional, because what's going to happen, a booking, a sending off, etc., etc. But that's just hearsay by us. Actually, that's us sort of kind of reading between the lines. We don't know for sure. He might have had an injury. I think he missed a game in the week.
He did
for injury, so it might well have been that it was a genuine injury.
A quick one on Dominic Solanke. Obviously, the second goal, the Scorpion, if you like.
Well, it's called the Half Scorpion.
Is that what it's called? The Half Scorpion? Not the full one.
Well, that was mentioned earlier on the earlier show. A Half Scorpion. Never heard of a Half Scorpion before?
Right. No.
You have now.
Yeah. And
when you see it, you know what it means, because it isn't quite a flip back like Giroud's actually, which was against Palace. I think it was an absolutely incredible Arsenal goal, that. But this was more of a sort of instinctive kind of heel clip.
And they need him to come good, don't they? And I do wonder if, and this is, look, he's only done this today, but I do wonder if England might need him as well. It's clearly Kane. Ollie Watkins is probably the preferred backup. How far away, if Solanke can stay fit, is he from challenging Ollie Watkins for that second spot, do you think?
Well, I do think that's a problem position for England in terms of, backing up Harry, God willing, he stays fit, Harry, through the tournament and into the end of this Bayern Munich run, which I think he scored again yesterday. He's really at the top of his game. But that second stroke choice one is really up for grabs, and there's a few trying to get that. Ivan Toney, obviously, he's an option as well. You didn't mention him. And one or two others, Lewin, maybe. Even Lewin is an option, because he offers you something that I think the others don't, and that's a real aerial presence. So Calvin Lewin's in there. It's a good one, and Solanke's in there. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's clearly got the strength, the pace. The first goal was
technically he's a good player. Yeah, he if you want to play a game and you're going to go through the lines, he's perfect. If you want to play a more high tempo kind of powerful team that turns over the ball quick and quick counter attack, he's good for that too. Yeah, so he fits into that.
On City, first half dominant. Maybe should have ran out 3 or 4 goals in that first half. Just the wrong pass all the time. Where are City compared to the City that we were used to seeing under Pep 3-4 seasons ago, which used to dominate games and put games like this to the sword very quickly. They're not that anymore, are they?
Well, it'd be interesting to see what Man City fans, if we get them to call in today. It would be great if we could have one or two on, because to me it looked.
That is it. 6 points behind Arsenal now. Arsenal do. That is it. 6 points behind Arsenal now. Arsenal do have to go into the Etihad, but 14 games to go. But it doesn't look like your team can put a run of games together. Let's go to the phone lines very quickly. Leon, the Man City fan, has got in touch. Leon, what do you make of the performance? A game of two halves. First half, you're fantastic. Second half, especially the first 20, 30 minutes, you're non-existent.
First of all, I kind of disagree with you. Did you watch it the whole game properly, fully, with all the
fully? Me and Pardew in a room by ourselves watching everything.
Dominic Solanke scores one goal. He has kicked Gahey onto the ball. The replay clearly shows he has kicked Gahey onto the ball. It's an own goal. If they're admitting that it's an own goal, they have to therefore admit it's a foul. Every other time, that is a foul on Gahey. He has kicked him. And we cannot claim to have the best league in the world when our officials are this awful. And it's not just the City. Overall, the Premier League referees are diabolically awful.
Let me hold on. Let me throw it to Pardew. Pardew, I don't know if you heard that. Basically, he's saying the first goal, and we did kind of question it. He's saying it's a foul on Gahey.
Yeah,
Solanke comes from behind, kicks Gahey in the back of the leg, and nothing.
Onto the ball.
Leon, let's get Pard's view on it first. Hold on. What do you think? He's got a point.
I think he has got a point in terms of he's come from behind Gahey, but it's just a tough call, that one. If it didn't go to VAR, I think they've probably got the call right.
Yeah. Leon, aside from that, and you can't just use that as the excuse. City were poor in the second half.
Also, Haaland in the penalty area.
No, never.
Never. No, bear with me, please. Yes, he's grappling. And they say, oh no, the ball's not in play, so it can't be a foul. Therefore, they are saying, if the goalkeeper is about to take a goal kick and the ball is not moving, go up to an opponent and kick him as hard as you can. It can't be a foul, the ball's not in play. A foul is a foul.
Leon, you're making excuses for a bad performance in the second half there, Leon.
No, I'm not making excuses. We didn't deserve it. We did not deserve it. I'm not making excuses. I'm saying the referees and VAR have to start getting the big calls right. The game the other week against Wolves, it is a clear penalty against Wolves.
I saw a couple of big fouls that Rodri committed in the second half just because of the yard off the pace that he didn't get booked for. So we could go back and forth because I thought Rodri was lucky not to get a yellow card. I think it was one on Sarr where he clearly came through him. No yellow card.
There's loads.
There's loads, so you can go back and forth quite easy with both teams.
Look at the Aston Villa goal today, a goal that was disallowed today. I mean, we'll talk about that later. That is definitely worth talking about. I mean, the officials and VAR, we all know, is not perfect. There is absolutely cast in stone that it is not perfect. It's there. We have to have it. It is what it is. Sometimes they get it right. Sometimes they get it wrong.
Leon, just before you go, is Leon still there? He is. Leon, are you out of the league? Is that it? Is it done? 6 points? Is that too much?
No, because they still have to come 5 rounds, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, you think you're still going to win the league? Then you sound very confident. To be fair.
6 points is not a lot. But there's one person I want to get a message to. He's probably not listening, but if he is, Howard Webb, sort your referees out. Since Howard Webb came in to take control of the referees, it's gone so much worse. You need to sort out your referees.
Well, there you go. There you go, Howard. If Howard's listening, there's Leon for you.
And he does listen. He does listen. We had a little sit down with Howard Webb earlier in the week. He certainly does listen. Leon, great call. He tries passionate as well. Great call.
At least he tries to, come and sort of face the music, so to speak, when the errors are made or whatever, and tries to give some kind of logical reason as to why they made it. So I admire him for that, and I think that's probably a step forward.
Yeah.
I still think our officials, compared to some of the officials I see abroad, in the Champions League in particular, I think we're just slightly below some of the level of the refereeing. I honestly believe that.
I've always wondered that, Pards. Why don't we just have the best in class? As in, I know it's the English Premier League, but why don't we just have the best referees in class for what is the best league? So basically, a shop for all. So you don't have to be English. I mean, as you mentioned, some of the Champions League referees are incredible.
Yeah,
the way in which they control the games.
They come in teams. It's not just a referee. You know, you get a team of 5,
Yeah.
and they travel to a Champions League game together. They work together, and that's your 5 that come together. 4 obviously officiating and 1 up in VAR or whatever. So that team now. There are some really great professional teams, and I think there is probably an argument when you see so many international footballers on our pitches.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the Premier League, what are we, 60, 70% foreign players?
Yeah.
Why we can't have foreign officials, I don't see a reason why not.
Indeed. With the best league, the best players, let's have the best referees as well. All right, get your calls coming in. 03717 22 3344. Let's talk about that thrilling game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which ended 2-apiece. Man City 2-0 up, cruising. Spurs come back. Dominic Solanke with 2 goals. Yeah, they've given him the first one as well. Really want to hear from Spurs fans. A lot of pressure on Thomas Frank. Is there still pressure? Or did you see enough in the second half, considering all the injuries and all the organisation he had to do in the second half to continue this job? And for Man City, Pep looks knackered on the touchline. What's going on at Man City? Are you still in the title race, or is that 6-point lead too big to climb at this stage? 03717 22 3344. Come and have your say.
I've got to say, though, I mean, I am with Dino on this one, really, as opposed to yourself, Jay. But I think Thomas Frank should be given Tom. I think the trouble is, you see, it's too easy to sort of say, oh, we're not doing well, sack the manager, right? He's only been in the job 6 months. Let's be frank here, right? I'm going to spell it out for the other fans, right? They're listening to your glorious channel, right? We finished 17th in the league. He is not taking over a team that finished in the top 4. We qualified the Champions League because we won that trophy.
Yeah, we won the Europa League and we had a load of injuries and we sacked off the Premier League at the end of last season. So, yeah, I know we finished 17th and it wasn't good enough. I get that. But there needed to be a massive improvement. With the players that we've got, we shouldn't be where we are in the table. You can't... The performances, Chris, are not acceptable in the Premier League. That's your bread and butter. And look, we're a great side in the Champions League and we're a joy to watch. But that's got to go into the Premier League performances.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, look, we should have done better against Burnley. There's no question about that. But I do think as well, again, this is where we're Dino in this one, right? The thing is, I don't think it's all Thomas Frank's fault, right? We need, right? And the thing is, look, this is a hangover from the old boardroom that were there, right? We did not push the boat out enough for signings, right? I mean, we've got a lot of average players in that team, right? I mean, apart from Van der Ven, Porro, and maybe Kulusevski,
Romero.
They are bang average. Romero as well. They're bang average players, Jay.
Kulusevski ain't.
Kulusevski, I think he's a great player.
Xavi Simons is
Solanke's
starting to
a
show
really
some
good
signs
striker.
of being a top player.
Is Richarlison injured?
He's not even here, but we're playing his music. Just in homage to him. Final word, Ade Oladipo alongside Alan Pardew. Before we go stateside to speak to the one and only Majestic, at the Emirates this evening, there is history being made as Arsenal host Brazil's Corinthians in the first Women's Champions Cup final. And the halftime whistle has just been blown in that game. So let's get all the latest from talkSPORT Stavro.
Yes, at the break, it's Arsenal 1, Corinthians 1. Arsenal have totally dominated possession, 77% in their favour. They've had a stack of chances, but only taken one, and the game is 1-1 because Corinthians scored from a set piece after a rare attack from themselves. The Arsenal goal was scored by Olivia Smith. It came on 15 minutes. Blackstenius pounced on a mistake by defender Teres. Her shot was saved by Layla in goal, but Smith was on hand to slam in the rebound. Credit to Corinthians, who nearly equalised when Borba tipped a Sampaio effort onto the crossbar, but from the corner that resulted, there was an almighty mess, and 40-year-old Gabby Zanotti got some connection onto it via Catley, and the ball just went over the line despite the efforts of Borba to keep it out. After that equalising goal, Arsenal had chance after chance to go back in front. Blackstenius with a couple of efforts, one saved well by Layla, one just wide after good build-up from McCabe and Little, and then Mead also saw a shot saved after combination play between Russo and Fox. Arsenal well on top, but not in front. Corinthians keeping themselves in the game here at the break. Arsenal 1, Corinthians 1.
Cheers, Dave. Thank you very much. More updates from Dave as when the goals go in, and they will go in, trust me, in that one. All right, I teed him up. Let's speak to him now. Majestic is in New York, enjoying himself, no doubt, although it is a bit chilly over there, but hopefully he's been warmed up by what happened at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, at least in the second half, Madge. You must be a happy man, because that could have got ugly in that first half.
It could have got ugly like Shakur Stevenson battering Lopez's eye last night, mate. Yeah, roles reversals for us. You should be at the box and I should be there doing my show. Yeah, listen, it was a much better second half performance, reminiscent of, even though we lost in the FA Cup, the second half against Aston Villa. Now, my question is to Pards is, why is it that when Spurs go a couple of goals down, it feels like the handbrake comes off and some of the players that we've got that have got the ability to go forward seem a bit freer, Xavi Simons being one of them? Do you think that Frank is over asking them, you know, they get back into their shape very quickly, didn't they, Spurs, under Frank? There's no shots outside the box, and it feels like when the handbrake let go past, we look a lot better.
Yeah, I think there's that evening, Madge, by the way. Lovely to see you out there in the Big Apple. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. I think maybe overcomplicating, might be too much info, maybe, you know, trying to cover all the bases. You know, when you're on a losing run, particularly, you know, this home form, I'm guessing, and I probably would be the same. You just want to try and justify that you're covering everything for the players, and in doing so, you tighten them up. And I think all managers are aware of that. It happens at every level. It can happen. I think there was a case for that today, but there were times in that system that he set up, Madge, in the first half, where Manchester City turned the ball over and people were picking up possession, and there was like 20 yards of space around a Manchester City player, you know, on the halfway line, and that can't happen on a home game. And it didn't happen in the second half, thank goodness.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, the inclusion of Odegaard, he comes on in the second half, would tell Odegaard, for me, who's probably been one of our better players in the new year. I felt it was a bit of a shame to drop him after how well he's been playing. Ade, you know, you look at that as a team, that second half fight back. I don't know why Romero didn't come out. I'd like to get some clarity on that, if his injury or not. But that looks like a team fighting for Thomas Frank, Ad.
Yeah, and you got players that can fight. And I think this is the thing. When you look at someone like Conor Gallagher, I think some eyebrows were raised with the signing, obviously because of the Chelsea connection. He will fight. I think, you know, Sarr will fight. Basuma's obviously been frozen out a little bit, but he's the type of fighter as well. So when it comes to sort of rolling up your sleeves type players, you've got those. But you've also got players like Xavi Simons and Solanke that can do a bit of magic as well. So it's there. He just almost needs to find his guaranteed 11.
Well, Paulinho is another one, isn't he? Who I thought second half.
Sign him now. Sign him now.
Yeah, it was terrific. Terrific second half. You know, but what I think is one of the issues that you'd have to sort of say about Thomas Frank since he's been there is the quality of the group. Okay, offensively, not as great as perhaps Spurs could be or should be. Even,
aren't they?
Right?
Kulusevski's the
no, but they're not even when they're all back. You know, they're still not like at the top of the level. But I still think, and I think Madge will back me up on this, Thomas Frank's results should be stronger. They should be.
Yeah.
And I think Thomas Frank will probably be the first person, because I mean, the one thing you'd have to say about him in his press and the way he is as a person, he's very, very honest. And I think he'd be the first to say his results should be better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is definitely why perhaps he's had a bit more leeway with the media especially than Ange had last season, because Ange had awful injuries last season. You've got to put that into context. He was missing his whole back four at times. Obviously, Thomas Frank hasn't had the offensive players, but he's had the back line this season, and we haven't got the results. As I say, it doesn't look like a team that's down tools who's not going to play for Thomas Frank. When West Ham were 2-0 up yesterday, I had all my Spurs friends going, I told you, we're in a dogfight, we're going down. Like, people were getting so emotional. I said, one, Chelsea are going to come back, and they did. And second of all, I just think we've just, look, anyone can go down. No one's too good to go down, but there's too many players in that group that can do something. Like, look, Solanke's, both goals from Solanke today were tremendous, especially the Scorpion kick, but
not only that, Matt, very quickly on that, it's the goal in Europe midweek as well.
Yes.
Where he shows that yard of pace to get through. And it's very, people might say I'm overreacting, it's a very Harry Kane finish across the goalkeeper. He's got that. Only if you can keep him fit.
I think Dom Solanke is quite underrated, mate, to be honest with you. I think the work he does off the ball as well allows the other players to come into space, especially Xavi Simons, who needs that space to run into. He looks like a much better, especially second half today. He was tremendous and he's been really good. So, look, there's lots of positives. I think, do you know what, Pards? And this, as a manager, you're always damned if you do, damned if you don't. Imagine how Thomas Frank must feel. Now, I'm not giving sympathy for him right now, but his first ever attempt at the Champions League, he finishes fourth with the 6 most clean sheets. He gets the automatic promotion from the Champions League, and his job's under scrutiny. He's under all this pressure. It's no wonder it's the most difficult job in the world, Pards.
Well, it is, and of course, you can always look at it from two sides of the coin. One way you can look at it, if you look at it negatively, it can look really bad, and if you look at it positive, like the Champions League and where they are, it can look great. But one thing that's interesting, Madge, right? The last 15 games form, and the reason I've done that is because there's 14 games left. West Ham, the last 15 games, they've got 16 points, right? So if you relate that to the last 14, probably going to be less than that, which puts them at 35, 36 points. Now, when you look at Tottenham and Crystal Palace on 29, well, you don't need a lot, do you? You only need 2 wins. 2/3 wins to be safe. So
Tottenham will be okay.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at Crystal Palace, who people think are going to are right in it. I don't think they are.
They can't.
They're 2-3 wins away from safety. So
again, very similar to last season when there was 3. There's definitely 2 that are going down, Wolves and Burnley. So I think that's definitely breathing space. We shouldn't be speaking about Tottenham.
I can't believe you're doing it, man. You're speaking about Spurs and you're talking relegation. I mean, what's wrong with you?
But let's turn our attention to more positive things last night, because at the Madison Square Garden, Ade, as a boxing purist yourself, we saw greatness arriving on the stage, and Shakur Stevenson, wow. That man, he came off that fight, he looked like he hadn't been touched.
Madge, they're telling me to break here, and I will say this. I was going to talk about Shakur Stevenson. Can we quickly, 20 seconds, talk about the wig? That's all I want to talk about. Gerald Miller's hairpiece coming off is more important than Shakur Stevenson winning, I'm telling you.
As follically challenged gentlemen ourselves, yeah. I don't think there's ever going to be a time you're going to see us, as they say in some grime bars, man, I lift off your headpiece.
I couldn't believe it.
It happened in real life.
Bars. It's a grime bar.
I couldn't believe it.
You love the grime bar, Pards.
Well, I'll take him to one tonight. I couldn't believe it. Mad, look, we've got to go. Enjoy it. When are you back? When do you come back?
Flying home tonight, so I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
Good boy.
Enjoy it. Well done, Madge. Great job as always, my man.
Love, boys.
Go easy, Madge. Bless him.
All right, on Monday from 6:30, there's a special talkSPORT transfer deadline day show hosted by the one and only Jim White, former Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy, and of course our chief football correspondent Alex Crook. And out of all the break-in transfer news as the window slams shut at 7 o'clock. Hopefully there is some transfers gone. It's been a really quiet window apart from, I think, Man City doing business. But for now, though, keep your calls coming in. 03717 223344 on a huge day, a huge game between Spurs and Man City. Spurs fans, is this the type of performance that saves Thomas Frank's job? Is this what you want to see? A bit more, as Mad said there, the handbrake sort of finally down. Man City, do you agree with Alan Pardew that you have to step it up to get back into the title race? And Arsenal fans, surely...
Step it up.
Step it up. I think it's done. Arsenal fans, surely you're celebrating. You must be absolutely buzzing after the weekend's results. You beating Leeds 4-0 and your nearest rivals dropping points at Man City. Look, give us a call, as I said, right now, 03717 223344. This is the final word on talkSPORT.
I'm doing this gig up a ski slope, end of season in Austria, and I'm with my dad, and we're travelling down to the gondola. It's a big gig, but we'll get up there in a gondola, and my security goes, Maradona's here, and he wants to say hello to you. I'm like, Maradona in Austria? I'm like, yeah, get out of the car, and there's Maradona. And like, you know, I don't speak Spanish. And, you know, but we're very happy to see each other, and we have our pictures taken together, and we go up in the gondola, and my dad's like, what's your life like, son? I go, it's amazing, isn't it? People like Maradona want to come and see me, And then 2 days later, I'm looking at the news on the Mac, and Maradona is at the Chelsea game. And that Maradona hasn't got a beard at the Chelsea game. That wasn't Maradona that I met.
No, it was.
It was an imposter.
What, claiming to be Maradona?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. You ever been scammed like that?
Not like that. Maradona come
Didn't you scammed someone though, didn't you?
What was that? What
It was
a lot of people, mate. Which one?
You scammed someone to get in a club, didn't you? Saying that we thought you was a monster.
Oh no, that was the guy that was the lead singer. Oh my God.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Good evening and welcome to the final word. Myself, Ade Oladipo, and former Crystal Palace, Newcastle and West Ham boss Alan Pardew. Normally on Sundays, Spurs lose, it's true, and it all goes a bit Dr. Spurs on the phone lines. Not today, as they showed fight to come back from 2-0 down to pick up a point against Man City. Great day for all of North London, right? And we want to hear for your views on that game, so pick up your phone, give us a call, 03717 22 3344. Air your views to the nation on the final word phone-in on talkSPORT. Very quickly, if you are listening, you listened to the start of the show, you would have heard the call from Leon, Man City fan, not happy. He thought the first goal that Spurs scored, Solanke, was a foul on Mark Gahey. This is what the Premier League Match Centre has had to say on that. The referee's call of goal was checked and confirmed by VAR, with the challenge by Solanke on Gahey deemed not to be a foul as Solanke played the ball. The goal accreditation panel had adjudicated the goal to be a Solanke goal. There you go. Leo, I don't think that's going to really.
Yeah, but we've
Leo.
seen fouls given midfield where someone comes from behind someone and takes their legs and then plays the ball, and it's a foul. But in that situation,
it's a foul, isn't it?
It's So I think it's still slightly debatable. So angry Leon, who we had on earlier, could still be angry.
He could be a bit upset as well because it looked offside. We didn't get to remember. They didn't really show the replay. They didn't show us the lines, did they?
Yeah.
With our naked eyes, it looked offside as well. Yeah.
It was a tricky one.
Yeah, Leon, feel free to call back over 377.
No, don't, Leon. No.
344. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Barry, the Man City fan. Barry, what's gone wrong there in the second half? It almost seemed too easy in the first half, and you could have had 3 or 4. You could have been out of sight, as Man City of yesteryear would have been. What went wrong?
To be honest, it's Pep who's the problem at the moment, because I'd like to go to Holland for this one. There's a basic substitution to be made, and it's O'Reilly behind us. Because you're watching the game and you're thinking, you can see what's going on, you know what the problem is, and then he takes 8 no, what's he doing? What's he doing? We was in total control, and then, really went, I won't say the words, but what are you doing?
He's a brilliant manager, is Pep, isn't it? I mean, there's an argument, obviously, it's Alex Ferguson, numero uno, but Pep certainly second when it comes to Premier League management. The one accusation that has been thrown at him over the years is overthinking. As he just overthought, it's 2-0, it's comfortable, just kill the game off. Do you think he's just been overthinking on the touchline a bit?
What he does like, these young players are going to be so brilliant, and he plays them, and it turns out they're not. He did it with Rico Lewis, and now he's doing it with Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly is great with keeping the ball, but he doesn't do anything with it. You need you need creativity. You need productivity. There's no point just keeping the ball and just keep passing it back and just keeping the ball.
Yeah,
but the Pep has this. I don't know. Is it a madness? Is it a madness? Keep the ball.
If it's a madness, it's a good madness because you won a lot of trophies under him, Barry. Let's be honest.
Don't get me wrong. The man is a genius. Yeah. But as I said, I'd like to say to Alan is, if you play against him for so many years, do you work him out? Do you think, I know what he's going to do? I know what he's going to do.
Well, what I would say, when I looked at that back four again today, and the back four he played against Man United, you just don't look strong enough. You had out the Nori at left back, Gahey, Kluzhanov, who are still, the jury's out for me on him. You know, he's a young player. He makes mistakes. I thought he should have been stronger for the first goal. Yeah. For sure. And Nunes at right back. I mean, it's a strange back four. And I don't know, you know, there's a lot of noises coming out about Pep maybe leaving. And I don't know if that's getting onto the playing surface, that kind of doubt. Do you know, it was started a couple of weeks ago. You know, I think Richard Keys come out and said he's definitely leaving, blah, blah, blah. And I think I would like to see sort of Pep put that to bed a little bit.
Which he hasn't.
But I do have sympathy with him because I don't know what you thought about. What did you think about Rodri's performance, by the way?
I think he's gone, Barry. I think he's gone.
Is Barry gone?
I'm almost happy he has gone because Rodri's performance was so bad. I'm worried to hear what Barry would have to say.
Well, I mean, obviously he's coming back from a really, a bad injury. Cruciate ligament is a dangerous injury, particularly for a big player. Yeah. And, a heavy player. Like he's a fixed set guy. I don't know what he weighs, but he's not somebody that's a nimble, agile kind of guy. Those knees are going to take a lot of weight through them. And he looked really pedestrian at times today. And for the first, and I've not seen him quite as slow with the ball at his feet. Usually, he's so quick, so quick-witted with the ball that he's going to make an insertive pass. He's going to set up an attack. He's going to quell the opposition. All that looked a little bit second best today for his standards.
I almost feel
so
like
that must be a worry
there,
for
hasn't
Pep.
it, Pards, where he's obviously trying to play him into some sort
Correct.
of fitness.
Yeah.
But you can see that he's so far behind. What does he do?
Yeah.
Does he give him 60 minutes and then take him off, or does he say he needs the 80 minutes just to kind of get up to speed very quickly?
Yeah, it is a tricky one. And, I've been in that position myself when you've got senior players coming back from injury and they're not quite right. And you're trying to find the form. You're trying to get them back to their best. They're concerned. They're coming to see you. He'll go and see Pep tomorrow, I'm sure. Say, what do you think, Gaff? Well, what was I like? And he knows in his heart that he probably is not there yet,
Yeah.
And you're trying to find a game plan or a route to that fitness where it's extra training, play games, as you say, come on after 60 minutes maybe. Might be better for him. The last period of the game,
where
a
it
few
slowed
of
down
them
a
to
little
get.
bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously they've got a big game this week. They've got Newcastle this week. Newcastle 2-0 down. I mean, they've got to go for it, Newcastle. So it's going to be a tricky selection again in the week, because I think Newcastle's still in that tie. When I look at that back four today and the way they've played second half with no real control of the game, I think Newcastle's still in that.
Yeah, you have to think that Nathan Ake is going to have to come back in, just that experience. Rather than
he's going to have to change it around a little bit. I think. Yeah.
Let's go to James, the Spurs fan. James, you must have been really thinking the worst at 2-0 down. It honestly looked like a training match, didn't it, with the senior team and the kids, and you guys were the kids. All of a sudden, he's made a couple of changes, and he done well. I mean, he could have nicked it. He had a couple of chances at the end as well. You must be really pleased with the performance.
I think it's twofold. The first half was just beyond a joke, although it's a joke we've become used to being. The frustration is born out of the fact that we can play football, and I think obviously the second half showed that. I think that the frustration lies with the ability that we have and the fact that we can play like that, but we so often don't. And you watch Frank on the sideline, it's always calm down, he's pointing backwards. And then the second half, we lose all that. And if I'm honest with you, I think the way we were playing and momentum was definitely in our favour.
Yes.
I don't think City were really in it in the second half. And I do believe that if we had continued, we probably could have gone and scored a third. And I was saying to the guys sitting around me, you know what? This is a real opportunity at 78, 80 minutes to just go and give it a go. And I'd rather us have conceded a goal, giving it a go, because we just haven't seen that for such a long time. I actually think there's more chance he would have got a goal, but to watch the manager at 2-2, especially at home, right? If we're away at City, I kind of get it, but at home, the momentum's with us. We look so in control. Why all of a sudden put those shackles back on? And I don't want that to take away from what was a great performance in the second half. But it was kind of just like a microcosm of everything that's gone wrong this season, where we're stopping when we're in the ascendancy as opposed to just carrying forward with momentum.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, James, I didn't really sense that from the TV screen that I was watching, that you kind of like when you got to 2-2, it kind of ended. I thought it was still very much open, very much an opportunity for you. I didn't think he really kind of made changes to shore it up. I didn't sense that, but you did. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think there was a change left to make sure up, but I think in the first half, and if you watch a typical Thomas Frank performance, our midfielders tend to cross the line, the halfway line, and there's that great big gap that's so often alluded to with the pundits when they're summarising our performances. That disappeared at the beginning of the second half, and players definitely had more freedom. And I think Xavi was the standout today. It was really good to see him kind of with a solid and exciting performance. Yeah. But once it went 2-2, it was 2 or 3 minutes later that they just stopped again, and they blocked the midfield. And really, our only couple of chances, I think there was one with Odegaard, wasn't there, when Tell had a great little run, or Siemens had a great little run and put it into the box. But I think on the whole, his body language, and he's right in front of me. His body language definitely went more defensive again. And there was one other point I wanted to make, which was not in relation to today's game, but I feel it's very important. At the beginning of the transfer window, our new CEO came out and said, "Look, this is, we realise we need to do this. We realise we need to do that, and we are 30 days in or 31 days into a transfer window where we've sold a player that scored 40 goals in 2 seasons, and we've replaced him with Conor Gallagher." The communication coming out of that club is nothing short of disgraceful.
Thomas Frank did try and defend that by saying we did try to go for Semenyo. He did try and say that we have tried to spend some money, and obviously Semenyo tried.
And I can guarantee that they went in big for Semenyo in terms of finance. So they have tried. But I the activity in the windows with Daniel Levy, the last 2 or 3 have been poor. There's no doubt about that. 100%. We know that. And this was an opportunity, this window, to make a statement. And I think he's right. I don't think they've made that statement that I would have liked to have seen if I was the Tottenham manager.
Wouldn't you say they've tried with Eze and Semenyo?
But they ain't got him over the line.
They haven't got him over the line. Yeah.
So what's the point? It's it's all well and good saying we went for him and we tried there. That's not what fans want to hear. That team is currently 14th. They've got the best stadium in the country. They're financially viable. They're a profit-making club. They're a team that are underperforming in front of their fans' eyes. Their home form is awful.
Just won a trophy. Yeah.
Let's do some business.
Yeah, we're open for business as well. I did say there will be goals in the game at the Emirates between Arsenal and Corinthians in the Women's Championship Cup final, and there has been another goal, Dave Rowe.
Yes, Arsenal back in front. Arsenal 2, Corinthians 1. Lotte Wubben-Moy has got it with a really well-placed header. 2 defenders combining, in fact. Emily Fox overlapping down the right-hand side, putting a cross in. And Wubben-Moy's header perfectly placed back across the keeper and in the bottom corner. Corinthians were frustrated. They were expecting the game to be stopped because Olivia Smith had gone down on the edge of the area. She'd stayed down with a foot injury, but the referee played on with Arsenal still on the attack. Wubben-Moy had scored. It had become a really frustrating second half, with Arsenal camped around the edge of the area but unable to find a final touch, and the header of Wubben-Moy does put them back in front. Arsenal 2, Corinthians 1.
Do you want to know a fact about Corinthians?
Go on.
It's an interesting fact.
It's better be good.
So the Brazilian Corinthians team was started because Corinthian casuals of England travelled to Brazil in 1910 to play them and started the club. And what a roundabout. There we are with their women's team playing against Arsenal.
In England.
Fantastic. Isn't that brilliant? And another little, just talking about a bit of gamemanship there before the Arsenal scored the second goal.
Yeah.
Corinthian casuals, I used to play for them, by the way.
God, this is fantastic.
One of the old rules of Corinthian casuals back in the day, and I'm talking about 1920.
Why did your voice change?
1935. That if the opposing side got a penalty, we actually thought it was such bad play and awful of us that we removed the goalie so that the penalty could just be scored and we could carry on playing in a gentlemanly fashion.
If you could do that voice throughout the show, it'd be incredible. That is Alan Pardew, by the way, just in case everyone thought he might have left the studio. All right, come and have your say. 03717 22 3344. Desperate to hear from Arsenal fans. Perfect weekend. You go to Ellen Road, you thump them 4-0 leads, and then you see your biggest rivals drop points from a winning position at your other rivals, Tottenham. So, look, come and have your say, Arsenal fans. And Manchester United fans, you must be getting excited about what Michael Carrick's doing at your club. 3 big games, 3 big wins. Benjamin Šeško saw a last-minute winner to beat Fulham 3-2 off the back of that win against Arsenal, off the back of that win against Man City.
Michael Carrick only said one corporate thing since he's been at that football club, right? He's been there and done all the right things, hasn't he, with the team, right? We know that. But he said one corporate thing, which I thought was really interesting, right at the first interview that he did.
What did he say?
He said this club has to get Champions League football this year.
And they are 4th.
And he's fulfilling. And they're right
if they get
in with a chance.
Very quickly, we're breaking so late here, but it is what it is. If he does get Champions League, he gets the job.
Oh, in my opinion, he would, yeah.
All right, 03717 22 3344.
They seem like a different team. You know, Fernandes is picking the ball up in areas he wants to, and it looks like he's controlling that midfield. You know, you've got Mainu who's come back into it. He's really, you know, amazing performances, really, when he hasn't played in the Premier League since probably May, isn't it? Something like that. So, you know, certain players have come back in, Ben, and, you know, it looks like they've been let off the leash. And some of the goals against Man United, against Arsenal, Cunha's goal was a fantastic winner, but even the second and first goal, Burmo took it so well.
Yeah, I think United have had these players. They've had players that are verging on the edge of world class. They've had them for the last couple of seasons, but they just haven't been able to show it. They haven't been able to go out there and express themselves and play with a smile on the face. I know this system. We all know this system didn't really suit Man United with 3 at the back, and it wasn't rocket science to change it to 4. It really wasn't. So I think everybody is on board with this kind of confidence, and now everybody. But you look at the fixtures they've got as well: Spurs, West Ham, Everton, Palace. The next 4 games. That guy, the one who hasn't cut his hair for a while, the United Strand guy.
United Strand.
Good evening, final word. Ade Oladipo, Alan Pardew with you until 9 o'clock. I'm covering for Majestic, who's on his way back from New York City. It was great to hear from Madge a bit earlier, who is happier. I was going to say happier.
It was at the wig fight.
It was at the wig fight. That's what we're going to call it from now on, the wig fight. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just type the wig fight into YouTube and I think it will come up. We are going to go back to the phone lines, 03717 223344. Come and have your say about your club this weekend. Very quickly, before we go back, it's a Spurs call that we've got coming up now. How would you judge Thomas Frank's reign so far?
Could do better.
Yeah.
Simple.
That's like a C, isn't it, in school? Is that like a C?
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Well, a C or a B minus.
Yeah, B minus sounds better.
But whatever you look at it, I mean, the home form, the results, the way he went in there, the CV that he took in to get the job, I would have expected him to do better.
Sure. Yeah, indeed. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Alfie, Spurs fan. Alfie, do you agree with that before you make your point about it is kind of a B minus, a C, that he just could do better? I think people expected a bit more. You're 14th in the league.
Yeah, I think you just have to give him time and he'll get more comfortable in the role.
Yeah, definitely.
And to be fair, you have to give us credit. We're missing half of our squad at the moment. And we've got Maddison, Kulusevski, Kudus, Van der Ven, loads of players out right now. So, yeah, and to come back from 2-0 to City is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, there's some good sort of individual performances, weren't there? I thought Paulinho looked better second half. He almost seemed to kind of get into the game. I thought Conor Gallagher was running around, as Conor Gallagher has done for Palace and Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. But Solanke looked good. And I think keeping him fit is key, isn't it, in order for it to be a good season?
Yeah, to be fair, Paulinho, he was making a lot of good tackles first half. And then Solanke is always on the ball, pressing high, getting his shots in. And that second goal was just so good. Couldn't believe it.
Was you at the stadium?
Yeah, I was just at the corner flag.
Be honest, Alfie, with this question. Go on, be honest. Did you boo at half time?
No.
Okay. Did you cheer at full time?
Well done, Alfie. That's all we like to hear. Stay positive.
I don't know if he's honest. I don't know. He's not going to admit
I'll tell you who was booing, Madge. I bet he was booing in New York at half time.
Yeah, Madge certainly was booing. Expectations for the rest of the season, Alfie? Look, I mean, you never know what could happen in the Champions League, but surely, I mean, you have to be further up the league. As good as what you say is true about giving him time, Spurs fans aren't going to accept 14th.
Yeah, I think we'll get out of the relegation battle and at least get about that 10th spot. And for the Champions League, I think we'll do pretty well. At least get to the quarters, I reckon.
Yeah, who knows? Alfie, good call, my man. Appreciate it. I still get the sense from Spurs fan pards that, and we've spoken to a few now, that they're still a bit indifferent with Thomas Frank. I don't know if they've just accepted him with open arms as yet.
I think it's a difficult job in terms of until they turn around their ability at transfer windows. And you have to put, that's nothing to do with the manager these days, as we're well aware. That's the recruitment team, the CEO, the technical director, in terms of courting players and getting them to come to your football club and buying in to the project that Thomas Frank is, whose name is on the headline.
Yeah.
That is always, they're going to have these kind of results. A good result today, by the way, but I'm talking about in the league where they sit. 29 points now they have in 24 games. And really and truly, when you look above them, Brighton, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, Brentford, and the big guns, they should be doing way better than that.
Indeed. All right, both EFL Cup semi-final second legs are live on talkSPORT this week. Man City against Newcastle on Wednesday and Arsenal hosting Chelsea on Tuesday. You're going to that one, isn't it? The Arsenal one?
I'm doing that one, yeah.
Should be a good game, that one. Chelsea going there with, 2 goals? 3-2 to Arsenal at the moment. The award-winning Sports Bar is going to take your calls after both games from 10 o'clock, so make sure you get your calls in for that one. But coming up next, we're going to go through all the other games in the Premier League. So get your calls in, 03717 22 3344. Come and have your say to the nation. We're going to hear from you next on The Final Word on talkSPORT.
Looking at the points, they're on the same points as Crystal Palace. They're 2 in front of Leeds. They're 3 in front of Forest. They're 8 ahead of West Ham. They haven't won, though, in any of their last 5 games in the Premier League when they've played Burnley, West Ham, Bournemouth, Sunderland and Brentford. And the next 7 fixtures that they've got look pretty tricky. City at home at the weekend, United away, Newcastle at home, Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, Liverpool away, straight after the international break, plus the Champions League fixtures thrown into that. Are they too good to get dragged into a relegation battle?
I think they are. And I think a bigger problem for them as well, Sam, is, like Rookie said there, some of these players are turning up in the Champions League. But are you looking at Simmons and saying, look at the standard of players you're playing against in the Champions League? As well. Yeah, Marani hasn't scored in the Premier League yet. But they're 10 points off Manchester United in 4th position. If I'm the hierarchy at Spurs, I'm saying we want to get back-to-back Champions League seasons. Not going to happen this season because they're miles off.
Can you see them getting back into contention for a European place?
No.
With games against City, United, Newcastle, Arsenal, Fulham and Palace and Liverpool over the next...
They could easily not win a game out of all those...
Good evening. Final word. Ade Oladipo alongside Alan Pardew. Let's turn our attention to Sunday's 3 other Premier League games now. And we're going to start with Pard's former side Crystal Palace's trip to Nottingham Forest in what many will call a relegation battle. And you can understand why. Forest 17th, Crystal Palace 15th. The game finished 1 apiece. And for Palace, Pards, that's 12 games now. And they've not won in. Especially when you consider the start where they were 17 unbeaten. Yeah. There was a time where, you don't have to go back that far, where they were like in a European position, and it's just all gone wrong.
Yeah, it's been a really kind of fall from grace, really, because they were one of probably the team of that period from sort of June to the end of September. Yeah. That period, they were almost unbeatable. They won 2 cup finals. They were flying. They won the cup final, then they lost Eze in the summer. And then it's been a sort of downward spiral since sort of October, November, December, as we come into this period. I thought it was a really big game for them today. And they had a big break in the game because obviously Williams handballs it on the line and gets sent off when the score was 1-0 to Forest. It was a crucial moment. And Palace, that's sometimes when you're on a run like that, that's what you need, just a break. They got a decent break. Unfortunately, they didn't capitalise on it. Because second half, really and truly, when Forest down to 10 men, they should go on and win the game.
They didn't have a shot in the second half.
No, it was
against 10 men.
Really
not a
disappointing shot. That. And I think sometimes when your dog's like buzzing, isn't he? And he's like lively, and he wants to run and he's ready to go. And football teams are like that. They get in that mode. They're ready to go, and you can sense it as a manager. And obviously, when your dog isn't like that, and he's in that, I don't know, something wrong, when he feels a bit poorly and he's a bit down, that's what Crystal Palace are like right now. Yeah. They're just not. They just don't. They've got no buzz about them. There's no kind of sharpness, spark going on, and that's what typified Oliver's team. Yeah. If there was one thing I would say about his team, wow, they had to go at everybody. They weren't sitting back on anybody. They were confident in the defending, and they would go at teams. At the moment, they look far from that. But I think the point was important today, and I've got them at 24 games, 29 points. I think they're safe. Yeah, I really do. So, now I think it's about managing. Oliver's obviously going to leave. Looks like Mateta's going to go tomorrow. Maybe Larson will come the other way. I think they'll get the results they need, and they'll be fine. And then they're going to, in the summer, they're going to have a real rethink about transfer policy, contracts, and make sure that they get some players nailed down.
Yeah, it's going to be a complete.
But they're not the only players that are available. That other managers would love in their Premier League teams.
Yeah, they've got
Nunes
so
in
many
particular,
good players,
who's like
Adam Wharton.
Yeah,
so, they've got really good players.
Yeah, they really need to kind of nail those guys down.
On Oliver Glasner, we'll get to the Mateta and Strand Larson almost swapping, if you like. But on Oliver Glasner, I think we all praised him for what he did last season. As you said, winning 2 trophies, big trophies as well. Has he made a mistake, or have the club allowed him to make a mistake by saying he is leaving?
Well, the club, I don't think it's nothing to do with the club. I don't think they've allowed or not allowed him to do anything. I mean, obviously, when you're a manager and you make those decisions on your future.
Yeah, but can they say, don't say it? Wait, if you're going to go, just go at the end of the season, but don't say it, because it's almost like it's destabilised the club a little bit.
The club could give you the authority to stop you doing that. Why you're out of contract. Why would they be allowed to do that? I don't think that's possible. So I think I think the timing of it was poor. Yeah. That's my opinion. Yeah. Because it was the same that was the same week that they lost Gahey on the Friday. So I think it was a situation he could have handled better, for sure. I think he's a professional. And obviously I know, and I still have staff at the club, that his work hasn't gone off the rails or anything like that. He's obviously doing the job. But sometimes, that kind of, when you talk about team spirit and the spirit of a football club, once that gets damaged, it's hard to get it back. And you're never quite the same. And I think that's where they are, really.
Yeah. You mentioned Mateta. It looks like he's going to go to AC Milan. We're hearing a fee of around 35 million. Strand Larson's going to come in and replace him from Wolves, which almost seems a weird replacement because Strand Larson hasn't done much this season, but seems to be a good player. they've lost their spine, haven't they, really? When you think of Gahey going, Mateta, big, strong up front. Eze was that magician for them.
Yeah.
It's a team that's almost been, the heart's been ripped out of the club.
Yeah, you're quite right. Right down the middle of the pitch, that core, which is always essential for any football team. And, so they got to hope that when Larson comes, obviously he's playing in a team that doesn't create many chances, by the way. Wolves, I have to say, of all the games I've been to, I think Wolves are the worst team I've seen, and that's reflected in their points total. That I think, hopefully, that he's going to get more opportunities and end up scoring goals for Crystal Palace. That's what they're going to hope for. It's a lot of money for Crystal Palace, let me tell you.
A lot of money, and they're spending. Brennan Johnson's coming for quite a lot of money as well.
So about 80 million.
So 80 million on those two players. Aston Villa 0, Brentford 1. Gabby Agbonlahor said that's it now. Villa's title race is over. Is it? Can they not string a few results together, or is it?
I still think this Aston Villa team are terrific. I thought last week they got a chance. When you look at the form table, the last 15 games they've got 31 points, which is the same as Arsenal, the same as Manchester City actually. But they've got more wins than anybody else. Got 10 wins.
Wow.
This is a team that's been on an absolutely brilliant run. I see them winning a cup. I really do. I think they're going to win something. And I think that squad deserves to. I think Tielemans getting injured this week was a massive blow for him. Because he's really kind of the brains of that team. Every time I watch them play, he's always at the heart of everything they do. So it's a massive loss to the manager, and I think they missed him particularly today in that game against Brentford. But I think everyone's out of it, because for me, Arsenal now, it's just theirs to lose, and I just can't see it with the resources Arteta has available, with the fan base that they have. The result that they got, I think they got the result of the weekend, by the way. When you look at all the other results, I can only think that Bournemouth winning at Wolves, you could half predict that, but Arsenal 4 away at Leeds, a game that you thought might be a bit tricky, was the result of the weekend.
Yeah, probably I think worst decision of the weekend came in that game at Villa Park. Tammy Abraham, who wheeled away in celebration thinking he's got that goal that every striker needs right when you've just moved to a club, got ruled out because of a VAR decision which happened, felt like 20 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Felt like such a long time, where the ball did go out, so they were correct. But as a manager, you must be pulling your hairs out when you're thinking, okay, that's clearly not out because we've played on, we've carried on, we've gone down the other end and scored, but they're then going back to a decision.
Play or whatever it was in between. I never knew that rule. And, when that was, obviously, I've seen that goal. When I see the goal, I couldn't work out why it was disallowed. I couldn't make any sense to me, which I'm sure if you was at the game today, you wouldn't have known what the hell that was for, right? So, obviously, when you look at the rule, they can go back as far as they want.
Yeah.
And
that's what the rule says, by the way. We're not making up. That's what the rule says. They can go back as long as they want.
Yeah, I didn't even know that rule. So I'm pretty sure Emery doesn't know that rule either until tonight. And they've gone back to a decision that was right down the other end, right in the corner when the ball's gone out of play. Well, it has gone out of play by about an inch. But, the refs played on. It's played, and we're right up the other end. It's gone round the houses and they've scored a goal. I just can't see that. I think they got every right to complain about that.
Yeah, it's a bad one when the
change
Brentford,
that rule.
Yeah, it's bad when the Brentford players they're not putting their hands up to talk about that decision.
No.
They've just accepted that they've conceded a goal, and then obviously VAR, as it does, gets involved. And
it's ironic because you've just signed a new striker, and the one thing, and I've done that over the years many, many times, right? And you just want them to score. You just want them to get a goal early, so they don't have that hanging over them. He hasn't scored.
And it's a nice, easy one, isn't it? He's right in front of the goal.
Yeah. Typical striker's goal. He's poached it. It's come off the keeper. Bang! He's put it in the neck of the net. Exactly what you want your striker to do. So double whammy for Emery.
Yeah. Better news though for Michael Carrick, who started his life. His second spell was Manchester United interim manager. 3-2 victory over Fulham. Very similar to the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Manchester United cruising, and then Fulham bring it back 2-2. And you're thinking, okay, both are going to settle for a point. And I guess this is the new United under Carrick. They keep on pushing, they keep on going. Bruno has a fantastic turn over Calvin Bassey. Seshko, 94th minute goal, needed it desperately. All 3 points.
Yeah, it was perfect ending. And Fernandes does a great moment on the sideline, dummers it, and he gets on the end of his own little dummy, crosses it, and Sesko has a great first touch and smashes it in the Stratford end right in the top corner. And so that will do him the world of good. I mean, it's a perfect day for Michael in a way because, you know, his team has shown resilience. Okay, they've taken the lead, they look comfortable. And like football does, he comes up and kicks you in the pants to say, well, it ain't as easy as that, Michael. And it's suddenly 2-2, and then they get the winner. So great for him. And actually, one thing I noticed when Michael walked off the pitch, he looked very serene and like he was made for the role.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's almost like he was floating.
It was almost, it was a nice moment for him. And actually, most of your managerial career is painful. Most managers would tell you that. Even Pep will tell you that. You know, it's like tinged with disappointment mostly. But then you have the odd great victory and great moment and great season, etc., or a cup win. And Michael's having one of those periods where it's all gone swimmingly well for him. But there will be a downturn. He knows that's coming. He knows football that well. So, but at the moment, the wind is in their sails.
Is this might sound like a silly question because obviously, look, they beat Arsenal, they beat Man City. But is this the biggest win out of the three? Because this is the one where you expect to win. The other two, it's almost a bonus if you get a point against City, you beat Arsenal. But this is the one where, if you're a United fan, you're like, are we really back? Because normally, under Ruben, you probably lose this type of game.
I think I'd have lost the dude before then as well.
yeah.
Listen, no, let's not go there because I just genuinely think that, you know, what he's done is just brought back some traditional values of like pressure, get to the ball first, win your battles, get balls in the box, get people in the box, which Amorim didn't actually. So many times balls went into that box under Amorim, and he didn't have the structure of players where players can get in the box. The wing backs weren't getting in the box, so you're limited straight away. So therefore, here he's got his two wide players getting in the box. He's got his midfield joining from the box. He's got a striker going in the box. Suddenly you've got numbers going in there. And then when the ball comes out, more importantly, he's got bodies to win it back. So now you're, if you're a Man United fan, now you're sensing that the crowd get involved there. When you have continuous attacks, the crowd get up and you sense a moment's coming. Then there's a handball or a penalty or you get a goal, and there we go. It's the Man United way.
You got the table in front of you. United currently 4th in that table. Liverpool 1. Chelsea
I got to be honest. If we go back 6 weeks, if someone said to me, Man United would make the Champions League, well, I got no chance. No chance.
What chance do they have now?
Well, they got a great chance.
Favourites for it?
No, I wouldn't say they're favourites because you've got Liverpool hovering behind. And I still think Liverpool, when I look at their squad, I think they're underperforming.
Yeah.
And you would know that because you're a bit of a Liverpool fan. I think they're underperforming. So I still think it's all to do for Man United.
Okay, there you go. All right, look, if you want to talk about any of those games, the phone lines are now open for you. So give us a call, 03717 22 3344. We want to hear from you. And we're going to hear from Pep Guardiola and Thomas Frank next as well on the final word on talkSPORT.
Did you hear Ray's version this morning? Ed, have we got Ray's version of Second Passenger? Take this in.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing. Played 38, won 26, lost exactly none.
Well, you only need the goals when they're running low. Only miss the net when the pressure grows. There's only one star boy by KO.
Saka off the bench to score. They are loving life at the Emirates.
Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Please, Pep, leave us alone. Come on, Arteta, you've got to bring it home.
Jump on that boat because this is the way that we're going to live the next 4 months.
Please don't let it go.
Wonderful. Wasn't that really beautiful?
I need to jump on the boat as well.
Yeah. Tickets for the unlikely pilgrimage of Harold Fry available on www.haroldfrymusical.com. You'll absolutely love this. Passengers album One for the Road will be available on all streaming platforms alongside the official video release for the album's second single, Walk Upon the Water, featuring Kingdom Choir on YouTube, and www.haroldfrymusical.com. Like we see, you've got a stunning voice.
To South Africa with the Barmy Army on talkSPORT.
Good evening, final word. Ade Oladipo, Alan Pardew. England are back in South Africa next winter, and the Barmy Army is heading out here in full force. All right, this is your chance to be right there with them with a week for two at the 2027 New Year's Test in Cape Town. Lovely place to go as well. Watch every day of the match at one of the world's greatest cricket grounds. Flights, hotel, and a bit of cash for you as well. We've got you covered. You'll secure 2 places with the official Barmy Army team, putting you right in the heart of the atmosphere with the loudest and proudest fans in cricket. Parter's going to tell you how you can enter.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close this Friday at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now, and good luck.
There you go, look at that. New job for him, voiceover king. All right, before we go back to your calls, we're going to hear now from Spurs manager Thomas Frank shortly. But first, talkSPORT's Alex Crook called up with the Man City boss Pep Guardiola.
That's why it's fascinating, the Premier League. Always difficult to control. But we came back again. So they push more and we struggle a little bit more. And of course, he had the momentum. But the game was well played. So at the end, of course, always is difficult. It doesn't matter what happened. But I think we played a fantastic first half. We missed especially, the actions, the 1-against-1, 2-against-2, and some actions with our in the final third, and we missed a little bit. But yeah, well played, and we knew how it's difficult. Try to continue, try to score, to try to attack, and after the 10-15 minutes after the goal, that's always happen.
With 3 centre-backs out second half, 2 full-backs out. We play with 2 midfielders in the back 4. We play with Dragosen, who plays his first Premier League game in 12 months, coming back from an ACL. We're ending with a young 70-year-old as a midfield. Dom can't run in the end. That's a massive mentality from the players. Massive. I'm very, very proud of them, and I'm very, very proud of how united fans and players were together. And we can see what we can create together in second half.
By the way, we are going to respond to what Thomas Frank and Pep Guardiola have had to say, but this game at the Emirates right now, incredible game, incredible. Corinthians have a penalty in the 94th minute, 4 minutes added on time. So this is the last kick of full time. They've got a penalty to draw level. It's currently Arsenal 2, Corinthians 1. And if you don't mind, I'm going to stay. If you can stay, just to let you know what happens here in this one. Corinthians about to take the penalty. It was a penalty as well, wasn't it, Pods?
Well, the penalty was almost exactly the same as Gahey's challenge.
Don't get Leon phoning up.
I'm telling you, it's exactly the same challenge, but they've got a penalty this time instead of it being a foul for Spurs.
Here we go. I feel like the tension is building. Corinthian fans, by the way, have completely taken one end of the Emirates. Fair play to them.
There's a few praying.
There is a few praying.
What a nervous penalty. My goodness me.
This is the last kick.
You don't want us to miss, really, do you?
No.
I suppose if you're an Arsenal fan.
This is a big penalty, this. And we are going to go to Dave Rowe straight after this as well, just to get his reaction to it. Dave Rowe watching the game for talkSPORT. Okay, the run-up is here. And it's a good penalty. I shouldn't be surprised, really, should I? Brazilian taking a penalty. I mean, it's only going to go one way. Let's go to Dave Rowe's watch there. Dave, what an ending.
It is Arsenal 2, Corinthians 2, deep in stoppage time. It's a penalty for Corinthians. It's hugely controversial in my view. It's taken an awful long time to sort it out, but it's been scored by the substitute Albuquerque, who's slotted it past Borba. Now, the incident happens, been given against Katie McCabe, who's gone in for a challenge with Robledo on the edge of the area. She won the initial challenge, then the ball bounced back towards the Corinthians player again, and it is one of those where where in taking the ball, she's clipped the back heel of the striker as well. For me, she gets the ball just first, and there was, once the referee had been sent to the screen to take a look at it, there was a lengthy discussion between the referee and the VAR staff, and it looked like the referee was almost saying that she thought the ball had been taken. Corinthians fans have gone berserk with the penalty being awarded, and we have probably, I would say, about 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. Arsenal, to be fair, had not shown any interest in going to try and score a third goal. They were trying to maintain possession, and Corinthians have, they've gone and got that penalty on the edge of the area. It's been struck home by Albuquerque, and we could well be heading for extra time here. Arsenal 2, Corinthians 2.
And that celebration, I mean, if you ever want to know how much a trophy means, let's go and look at the celebration of that Corinthians player and the fans as well. It means a hell of a lot. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. 03717 22 3344. Come and have your say on the final word about your club. Adrian's done just that, Spurs fan. Adrian, how do you sum up the game today? How do you sum up the season as a whole? Isn't that, I guess, the game today almost a microcosm of your season, where you play well, but just not enough? And in the end, maybe you could have gone for 3 points, but in the end, it's a good point.
Yeah, it is. It was a game of two halves, that old cliche. But the first half was not very good at all, and City were dominating. And the second half, I think you said it earlier, the handbrake was taken off, and we just seemed to play some decent football. A couple of points I wanted to make, like Alan Pardew's comment when he said that he thought Spurs could and should be doing better. I kind of disagree. I'm sitting on the fence as far as Frank is concerned, but how can any manager, I don't care who you are or how good you are, how can any manager cope with the amount of injuries and the level of players and the quality of players that Spurs are missing? It's just, I just can't understand it. I can't fathom it. We've lost 4 players in the week from the Champions League game. I don't think any manager could cope with the amount of injuries that we've got. And for me, that kind of buys him a little bit of time for me. Like, I think you're right. We survive relegation, that fight, and we make a little bit of a fist of it in the Champions League, but let's see what he's all about next year with hopefully these injuries a little bit better.
It's got a point, doesn't he, Bards? I mean, you do look at the injuries, and obviously it's now a lot of injuries, but even at the start of the season, he was missing big players. I've said that I think Kulusevski's like almost the engine room of that Spurs side, and he's been out.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Maddison as well is a magician for them. They're missing a lot of players.
But I'll go back to Ange's period. We were saying exactly the same thing, right, about injuries. And it's about management of your sports science department and your medical team, that you got more players to call from, because the Spurs, for me, suffered too many injuries. Now, impact injuries and crucial injuries, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about those. And obviously Maddison has had a cruciate, etc., etc. But there's certain injuries, hamstrings and stuff like that, which are avoidable. And managing the squad, making substitutions at the right time, etc., is part of managing a football Premier League team, or any team, I might add. I'm with him because I want Thomas Frank to stay there, because I still think there's more to come from him. But I do need to put some of that injury blame at the club, and when you're the manager of a football club, that's under your realm. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And Adrian, I mean, you could go down the list of clubs that have. I mean, Bournemouth basically got a whole squad out, and they're above Tottenham. A lot of teams, and I mean, Bournemouth shouldn't really be above Spurs when you think of the spend of both clubs and the wages as well. On a positive, Solanke looked really good and sharp as well. Obviously, he's a player that you need to keep fit. Gallagher looked good coming into a new squad. There are some positives to take from the game, aren't there?
Yeah, definitely. And I think near the end, everybody was dreading Solanke going down injured, but we had no players to bring on, and I think that was a problem. The other very quick point that I wanted to make, and it pains me to say it, I actually think Spurs looked slightly better in that second half without Ramiro. It was almost like the attitude of the captain. Like, I don't know, like there's something about it that it just seemed that the whole team seemed to be coming together. And there was an incident a couple of weeks ago where Ramiro wanted to come off, and yeah, for me, I think we just looked slightly better without him.
Yeah, well, let's go on to Romero because, apparently...
he's been waiting for this bit.
No, apparently he was ill, right? That's why he come off at half-time, so it wasn't an injury. I would suggest that he caused some havoc in that changing room because he looks that type to me. And I said to Madge some time ago that I think he's a liability at times for the football team. And to have him as captain is dangerous because he's so emotional and he gets involved with stuff. Of course, at the top of his game, he's a World Cup winner. He's a proper footballer. But I do think there are some facts about him, some things that he does that.
As a captain as well. I remember at Liverpool. When Liverpool came to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, he got sent off, and it was for something so silly. And I was thinking, you don't need your captain to do that as you're trying to get back into the game. I think it's a great partnership.
Whatever's happened at half time, that story will come out if it's true. If it's true or false, it's coming out. Yeah. If he was ill, okay, it will all be buried. But if he wasn't ill, we'll hear about it because that's the way football is these days with social media, and particularly players in the dressing room come straight out and tell their agent, he wasn't ill, blah, blah, blah. It will come out if anything untoward has gone on.
What do you do with him, Adrian? Because as you say, look, on his day, fantastic. There's a temper there that we know. And when it's controlled, it's needed. I do think Spurs need a bit of aggression. But you're right. When he wasn't there, everyone seemed to almost play with a bit more freedom. And I thought some of the players at the back, especially Paulinho, when he kind of dropped in there, looked really good.
That freedom as well comes from the fact, like I've always said, that when Ramiro's going forward, he's doing it at walking pace almost, and that slows things down. Like there was an urgency in that second half, but like you say, what do you do with it? He's a World Cup winning captain, and on his day, he is very, very good when he partners Van der Ven. Yeah. So you can't really just write him off. But I totally agree with Alan Pardew. You also can't have the guy as a captain.
Yeah, I think that's a real headache. If I was Spurs manager, I'd probably be going home to my wife going, wow. Wow, he's difficult. He's difficult. And if I take the captaincy off him,
forget about it.
You can imagine it. The toys are going to come out in the pram. So difficult one.
Difficult one indeed. Great call, Adrian. All right, it's extra time between Arsenal and Corinthians. We're going to keep you updated with that. The latest action at the end.
The one thing, good thing is it's pouring of rain, and the Brazilians look really cold.
yeah, they're not used to this, aren't they? They're not used to this.
North London weather.
I said there'll be goals, 4 so far. Will there be more in extra time? Again, we'll go to Dave Rowe when we come back. But keep your calls coming into us. 03717 223344. We want to hear you next on The Final Word on talkSPORT.
This is Robbie Williams with Angels.
I sit and wait. Does an angel contemplate my fate? And do they know the places where we go when we're grand? Cause I've been told that salvation lets their wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head, and I feel that love is dead. In your cars, on the buses, I'm loving angels instead. Everybody, and through it all, whether I'm right or wrong.
There are many sporting rivalries that can boast years of history, ferocious tensions and iconic tussles that ignite the fans to their very core. But when it comes to the battle of the mind games and the verbal exchanges in the heat of battles down the decades, the Ashes stands alone. So here are some of the most memorable Ashes housery moments. Few figures in Ashes history were despised by the opposition more than Douglas Jardine. He was the granite-jawed architect of the notorious 1932 Bodyline series, which sent shockwaves through the sport that still reverberate nearly a century later. One day, the hurricane met the tornado as Jardine met Yabba. As the name suggests, Yabba, real name Stephen Harold Gascoigne, was a heckler who became so famous that a statue was made of him. When Jardine was on the boundary swatting away some flies, Yabba yelled the immortal line, "Jardine, leave our flies alone. They're the only friends you've got here." Like Jardine before him, Stuart Broad is another figure who had a particular gift for riling the Aussie public, mainly due to his jaw-dropping survival at Trent Bridge in 2013, when he very visibly nicked off to slip and refused to walk. Broad is somewhat the modern housery king. He officially became a sorcerer in 2023 when his random bail swaps twice bought a wicket with the next ball at the Oval. 3 tests earlier, after that Carey Bairstow run-out, Broad made sure he was right in the thick of the pantomime. Wicketkeeper Ian Healy issued one of the great lines towards Nasser Hussain. When Steve Waugh told Ricky Ponting to field right under Hussain's nose, Healy remarked, "That could be anywhere within a 3-mile radius." Poor Nass. But perhaps the most poetic of sledges came from bowler of lightning bolts Dennis Lillee, about the Yorkshireman of Yorkshiremen, Geoffrey Boycott, about whom Lillee wrote this: "He's the only fellow I've met who fell in love with himself at a young age and has remained faithful ever since." Priceless.
Good evening, just gone 8 o'clock. Hopefully you're having a nice Sunday evening, relaxing indoors. If you're driving somewhere, are you listening to what is, I think, the greatest show on talkSPORT, this one. It is The Final Word. Ade Oladipo, former Newcastle gaffer, Alan Pardew. And yes, Newcastle fans, we are going to be talking about your side. You haven't escaped me as well after that battering at Anfield yesterday. But right now, we are the only place on national radio taking your calls, so keep them coming into us as well. 03717 223344. But now it's time for the quiz that is more exciting than David Moyes dancing at the Amex. Yeah. Is that dancing? Is that dancing, yeah? It's the Mystery Footballer Song Quiz. It's simple to play. All you need to do is tell us what famous footballer is linked to these 3 songs. Remember, it can be the clubs he played for, a nickname, or even the league he made his name in. So DJ Kitch, drop the songs, my man. You have to know this song. I mean, if you're a football fan and you don't know this song, are you really a football fan? Bit of Meatloaf for ya? I go on, final song. Oh, classic song this, isn't it?
Sledgehammer. Why don't you know my name?
All right, so a bit of Gazzetta Football Italia, bit of Batter Hell, Meatloaf, and Peter Gabriel with Sledgehammer. If you think you know the answer to the mystery football quiz with those clues, It's simple. Text us 810 or you can WhatsApp us for free on 03717 22 33 44. If you know the answer, don't say it, Paz, but do you know the answer?
I've got an idea.
Got a clue, yeah?
Yeah, and I think the first song gives it gives you the path. Take the path.
Stay on the path. Stay on the path.
Stay on the path. Don't deviate from the path, young man.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. 03717 22 3344. Let's go to Jez, the Villa fan. I feel like Jez is going to be very, very upset.
He might not be.
After the points dropped at home to Brentford. He will be. Jez, you are upset, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a bit upset there. He's doing a great job, by the way, for Majestic's away, isn't he? So, yeah, great show.
Thank you, man.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Look, I've got an issue with VAR at the moment. The system, Howard Webb, he's chief refereeing officer. He's got to get a grip of this. The panel meets every week after games and they review, don't they? They review the contentious decisions on the pitch. Now, the referee today at Villa Park was Tim Robinson. If he thinks the ball's factually out of play, then he stops the game and he gives Brentford a throw-in. Bearing in mind, this ball is by the corner flag at the whole end in our half.
Yeah.
But he lets play go, and it's a full 19 seconds until Abraham scores on his debut, new debut, second debut for us. Now, they reckon that's a phase play. That's the argument, that it doesn't matter how long it takes, that's phase play.
Correct.
But from what I've heard, and I was at the game, so it's difficult for me because I wasn't watching it on Sky Sports, etc., but the pundits were divided and it was inconclusive.
Agreed.
So I'm going to go to Pards. Pards, former manager, a lot of respect for you as well. What are your thoughts on this, please? Let me add just one final thing. And this is why. So there's an issue either with the refereeing and or the technology at the moment. The quality of the refereeing and the quality of the VAR decision-making off the pitch and or improvements in technology needed.
Well, let's go back to the incident. First and foremost, the rule about that phase of play being going back 90 seconds, 1 minute 30, 2 minutes, wherever that phase started, I never knew about until today, right? So that was news to me. To go back, as you say, for a throw-in that was down the other end where the referee had played on, to cancel the goal out is totally inappropriate in my opinion, right? That's where I sit on that. Let's go back and then let's talk about VAR and referees and where that's all going. I still maintain that the management between the referee and VAR is too one-sided. The guys up in VAR seem to be like godlike. It's almost like the decision they make is final. We got all the detail here. We got all the lines, blah, blah, blah. And you on the pitch there, you need to succumb to us. That's how I sense it's being worked. And I have a problem with that too. Because the problem I've always had with it is the people in the stadium. For the TV people, we can sit, we can have a cup of tea, we can watch it over and over and on replays. You guys are just standing in the stand thinking, what the hell's going on here? And so I do think we have major problems, and they're talking about more incidents being involved with VAR.
Yeah,
and I think that will be the worst possible thing they could do. In actual fact, I think it should be less.
Yeah,
but I'm
really
with you.
bad
I'm
about
with
that,
you on all the points, Jesse.
And you've got a right to be upset, Jez, because obviously, look, it's Tammy Abraham. It's his first goal, as you say, back at the club. He doesn't even know what's going on. Look, you can see both sets of players on the pitch thinking, "Oh, what's happened?" And I'm initially looking at it thinking, is he offside? Because that's what I just assume it was. And when they then go back, or a foul or something, someone's pushed someone in the box. When they go back about what feels like 10 phases to the ball being out, as you say, down the whole end, you're thinking this is ridiculous now. And it makes no sense.
Yeah, and I think the other point I want to make as well, surely the benefit of doubt should go to the attacking sides. I don't care if it's, I'm a Villa fan, right? But you're hearing the fans every single week complaining about the decision-making, right? Today at Tottenham as well. Went through Gay, and it's a Solanke goal. That to me, that's potentially a disallowed goal. And that's
Can I just interrupt you there, Jez? Because when you watch the Arsenal Corinthians goal, right, the penalty that Corinthians get in the last kick of the game, it's exactly the same incident, and they've got a penalty for it, a foul. So you're actually right. We've got two decisions of the same incident with a different outcome.
Now, listen to this. My point is this, right? We're 4 or 5 minutes into the second half. Villa equalise. Crowd behind them. We had a 2.3 times expected goals, 71% possession, and 28 shots. We didn't score, so we didn't win, did we? But look, the bottom line is it's 7 points behind now. Were we ever in contention? Look, to me, it was always about a top 4 Champions League finish for Villa this season. Be incredible again. Pardew talk about us potentially winning a trophy. Wouldn't that be phenomenal? I think it's 28 years or something like that for us. But the key thing here is that we push on. And there's a lot of Arsenal fans coming on and saying we're going to do it. Well, you've got to go to City's ground, haven't you? It's not a shoo-in at the moment. I'm telling you, it's not a shoo-in. Even at 6 points, right? Still, 14 games to go, Parts?
It's a long way. Loads of games to be dropped, injuries to be picked up. So much could happen in Europe as well. Jez, honestly...
I would just say this, Jez. I mean, I just want to get your reflections on this. I can't remember, and I'm going to go back all the way to when you won the European Cup, which was called the European Cup in those days. I can't remember Villa having a better side than this since them days. Is that correct?
What a side we had. Well, Ron Saunders with the championship the year before, and then Tony Barton in charge. Yeah. I mean, we had a midfield then. We had a midfield this season. And again, I had a caller, complaining about the injuries. Onana out today. Tillerman's out today. McGinn out today.
Yeah.
Kamara out
That's
today.
Your whole midfield. That's all your midfield.
Yeah, and one final thing, just give me 20 seconds about VAR again and refereeing, quality of refereeing. Villa against Spurs, third round of the FA Cup, I was there. When Kamara was taken out by Paulinho, the refereeing panel met last week and they agreed that should have been a straight red. Paulinho didn't even get a yellow that day.
I remember it.
And Kamara is not only out for the rest of the season, he's probably out of the World Cup squad as well for France.
Wow. What a blow, because he's been outstanding, hasn't he, for you? Absolutely outstanding. You're right, just to highlight it. You are. Because they're the sort of thing that, just you say, just gets forgotten about. But, that those incidents and those injuries are so impactful.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Yeah, well said.
Great call as well. Appreciate it, Jez. Let's quickly, we're going to go to Jill very quickly.
Well, we're going to go
Dave.
You can't. How can you say, are we going to go to Jill? Jill's like a regular. She's almost on there as much as Madge.
On it more than me. I feel bad. But let's go to Dave, actually. Let's go to Dave who's watching the game. Extra time between Arsenal and Corinthians. Anything happening in it, Dave?
Well, it's still Arsenal 2, Corinthians 2 after that dramatic ending to the game as Arsenal go in front just as you join me. Arsenal have gone in front with Caitlin Ford arriving from the left-hand side to make it 3-2. I was just about to say that the extra time period had been really flat and fairly uneventful so far. In fact, Corinthians, it looks like they're more likely to take the lead. Arsenal were looking tired, but now Caitlin Ford off the bench has come up with the goods there, down the left-hand channel, firing it past Layla in the Corinthians goal, and for the third time in the game, Arsenal are in front. Now can they hang on? Arsenal 3, Corinthians 2.
By the way, just to sort of just emphasise how big a game this is, the Women's Champions League final, in terms of the pot of gold, the money, £1.7 million. £1.7 million for the winner of this as well.
Is it really?
Same as the Champions League final. Wow. That's why it's a mid-season game, and I know a lot of people raised eyebrows about it. You can understand why they're playing mid-season, because the money involved in this game, Arsenal look like they're going to win it now.
Well, they're not going to.
So big.
It's not over yet.
Have I hatched my eggs too early? Have I done it too early?
Always.
Yeah.
That's where you just showed a bit of naivety.
There you go. I've gone early. I've gone early. All right, let's go to Jill, the regular. Apologies, Jill, Manchester United fan. Jill, you must be buzzing. What's going on? Michael Carrick in charge, and it's doing well, isn't he? He's doing so well that surely he has to be in the hat to get this job full-time at the end of the season if this continues.
Well, hi, good evening to you, Ade, and hi, Pards, how are you doing?
I'm good, Jill, thank you.
It's another 3 points and another Fergie time winner, yeah. I've got to say, and a great winner it is as well. I thought we looked great. Came back to 2-2, but that winner from Sesko, it's good to see him get the winner. Casemiro, Cunha coming in for Dago. So for me, it was another 3 points. Carrick looks really calm on the touchline. I've got a question for you, though. At the back with Martinez and Maguire, my question to you, Pards, is does Maguire get back in the England squad?
Oh,
For me, I would take him purely for two main reasons. One, for his experience around the group, because we've got a lot of young talent in that group. But I think we like all those tournament plays, you need some experience around how to deal with all that time alone. You got like basically 5-6 weeks in a hotel. He'll be able to guide them on that. I think he'd be a great addition to the team if we need him. I don't think he will start, but if he does play himself in, which he can do in these last 14 games, we know he's a massive threat at set plays, probably the biggest threat at the World Cup. So, for those reasons alone, he goes. But does he start? And that's a question mark. But when I look at you, look at your back four. All these times, Jill, you've been on the phone and we've been talking about the back three. Who's going to play there? Luke, does Shaw play left centre back? Is that him? You got Dalo at right back. He's a right back, as we know. Maguire is a centre back, as we know. Martinez is a centre back, as we know, who played in the World Cup final. And we have Shaw, who's a left back for England.
100%.
Makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it?
100%. Casemiro, Menu, Cunha, Bruno, and Wemo.
Looks a team now, doesn't it? It looks a solid team.
Good, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to just go back to one thing, Jill, you said about Sesko. I know he was really pleased he scored in front of the Stratford end. All the reports coming out this week about Sesko really working hard in training, how kind of everyone's feeling for him because he's working so hard. He's so hard, about 2 or 3 different players. I think Michael even said it. And there is his reward. And there is any young player thinking that no matter where you come from, whether you've come from 0 pennies, you've moved to a Sunday League team, or you've come for 70 odd million or 80 million, whatever Sesko is, you have to work hard at your game. And he got his reward today, and I'm pleased for him.
And Michael Carrick said that they've been working with him in training a lot.
Yeah.
And it's showing, Jill, as well, wasn't it?
The winner,
Yeah, that's it.
He's looking really good. Jill, fantastic as always. Great to hear from you. Thank you very, very much. All United fans must be buzzing at the moment. Again, top 4.
But Jill is the voice of reason.
It's calm, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's collective.
So it's always nice to get her on when we're having these cathartic moments on a Sunday evening to get the lovely tones of Jill on, giving us some sound advice on the Manchester United of the North.
Yes, as you do in your voice, I can also do in mine. All right, coming up next, we are going to talk about Liverpool. 4 stars. That's where the voice changes. 4-star display against Newcastle yesterday. This is the final word on talkSPORT. Come and have your say. 03717 22 3344.
It will be an underwhelming Premier League title.
It won't be.
I think it will be.
For Arsenal. If they win the title for the first time in 22
they won't care.
years, they will not
No,
care.
they won't care.
But it's underwhelming.
But
They'll
everyone
just think
else
it's job
will.
done. Well, yeah, last year he was giving Liverpool stick for the way they went about.
I've been
winning
proved
it.
right when you look at them this year.
They still won the league.
It wasn't a great Premier League
But they
last
still
year.
won the league.
Liverpool can't. That Liverpool team. That's what I said at the time. It was in March. We're at the Cheltenham Festival. I got a lot of stick from Liverpool fans, but I stand by it. You can't talk about the Liverpool team that won the league last year in the same breath as Manchester City's treble winners, United's treble winners, Jose's Chelsea, Arsenal's invincible.
But it was the first season in their development. It's like this season for Arsenal. This is the first season that they're going to put some silverware on the board. So you don't just automatically put them into a bracket with some of the greatest teams that have ever graced the Premier League. That happens over a longer period of time. It may well be that after that, they had to rejig. They surprised themselves by winning the title last year. They had to rejig. They had to rebuild for the future. It may be that they come again.
Whereas a different story with Arsenal. They've been building up to this moment. And I think that's why Gabby says, not to their fans, but maybe to the rest of us, if they are only going to score 69 goals, you said maybe it is a little bit underwhelming. And I love Theo Walcott, but I can't believe he even asked the question on television. Would this Arsenal team beat the United team of 2008? Absolutely no chance.
It is a little odd, though, having come close 2 seasons ago with an attacking approach, a creative.
Because I know the answer to who this player is, I just think it's so obvious. Like, surely, I mean, you can't get more obvious clues. Well, can you, Pods? Final word, Ade Oladipo, Alan Pardew.
Listen, they're not always a gimme, you know, it depends where your brain's at, you know. I mean, you know, we have big people who can't get it.
I was in the green room earlier and I got this in about 5 seconds. Yes or no, Pods? Yes or no, Pods?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Rory Jennings, Mr. Rory Jennings, who knows everything, doesn't know the answer either, just messaged me, said he hasn't got a clue. Mental. You let me down, Rory. Let me down. My my teammate on every Friday. Quick plug, 7 till 10 Fridays. Spank Football is Friday. All right, if you know who the mystery footballer is, text us 810 809. You can WhatsApp us as well, 03717 223344. I'll let you know who it is a bit later. All right, let's look back at Saturday's game at Anfield, where Liverpool put 4 past Newcastle, live on talkSPORT. Liverpool on a slot. Where are you?
I don't know where I am. I'm confused completely. You know, because, well, when he went into, I have to rewind a little bit. When he went into Liverpool after Klopp and he settled the team down, made them a little bit more methodical, they looked brilliant on it. They had a kind of a mixture between like a Dutch style and Klopp style. It was lovely, and they walked the league. And this year, it seems to me they've lost that little bit of Klopp about them, and they're kind of a little bit hard to watch at times, which is hard. You know, Liverpool, throughout the history of Liverpool, they're always brilliant to watch, particularly at home. You can't wait for the game. You know that something's going to happen. And obviously, when you go there as a manager, it's like daunting to stand on the sideline and see them in full kind of bloom. But, you know, they were better yesterday, and Ekitike looks like he's grown into the shirt. You know, the colour of his hair, the sort of confidence he's sort of displaying like a peacock. All his feathers are up.
Torres-esque. Does he remind you a bit of Fernando Torres?
Well, Steven Gerrard threw that in, didn't he? Because that finish was special. Yeah. You know, to finish it like that on a really quick run to hit it on the outside of foot like he did was lovely. I like him a lot. Me and Madge, big fans of his. Yes, better. I still think Liverpool, for me, because the league's gone, I still make them favourites for the Champions League.
Wow, okay.
But they're going to need to find, in my opinion, a little bit more zeal. Even though that was a great result yesterday, Newcastle had a tough game in Champions League, and I just think Newcastle were off it a little bit. I think there's still more to come from Liverpool. I really do. Yeah. And I think they'll kick in when these cups get round to the seriousness of them.
Yeah, a bit of a soft underbelly, some people say, about that midfield. Maybe it's a bit too easy to kind of go through. Wirtz has been a big topic of discussion just because of the price tag. Yeah. And he started the season, I think some say, a bit slow because of the price tag. He's now into full swing, isn't he? I mean, goals, assists, a bit of magic, a turn here, a turn there. He's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I still... You know, when you look at him, I still want a little bit more, if I'm honest. I still think he should be in the game a little bit more. I think there should be more of those moments. But you look at his body, and I know they're massive spot Liverpool on the athleticism of their players. So they work hard in the gym, they work hard on the training ground on physical development. And he looks bigger. He looks like he's put on half a stone. You know, not like fat, but like muscle and strength and conditioning. So, because at the start of the season, there was a lot of times he dwelled on it and got caught. And those moments are becoming less and less. There's not often he gets caught now, or his pass is not quite got the right pace on it, etc. So I think he's grown into the league. I think he's a player that looks to me like he's not quite there, but it's coming. And that should be a worry for everyone because obviously they got a certain player, ex-Newcastle player, sitting on the bench who's ready to come back as well.
Yeah, that player being Alexander Isak. You can imagine if he gets going, then that front three could be incredible and hard to stop. Does that front three, if Isak is back, does that front three still for you include Mo Salah?
Yeah, well, I think Mo's having one. I mean, he was exceptional last year. We're only talking about 8 months ago. You can't even say it's a calendar year that he was absolutely brilliant.
Ballon d'Or favourite at one stage.
Yeah, exactly. I just think the AFCO tournament takes a lot out of African players. So I still think he probably. I was surprised that Salah put him straight back in. Actually, I thought he probably needs a rest. That's what I think he needs. He needs 3 or 4 weeks out, and hopefully he doesn't have a soul cup like he did last time. He kind of accepts it and comes back fresh for that run-in, particularly in the Champions League. I still think there's lots more to come from him. Yeah. I still think he's below his level, and we're talking about an exceptional level here.
How difficult is it? And you would have had players here where they're the star man, and then you've made a signing, and that signing's almost come and taken that role. I look at Ekatike, and you mentioned the blonde hair, and it looks like it's almost his team, and he wants it to be his team. Where for the past 8.5 seasons, it's been Mo Salah. Yeah, how difficult is that for Mo Salah?
On the block. That's part of football, and you have to get that's part of it. I'm not saying that the old star can accept it straight away, but they do over a period of time. I don't think Ekatike is anywhere near Salah's level at this time. So I don't think he is the star of the team. I think he's a favourite of the team at the moment, particularly of the fans, and that quite rightly. But I still think that in Salah there's more to come, and I think a rest period. I really do think that the manager has to be bold and leave him out again. That's what I would do. I would leave him out, and I think sometimes you get in the short term, you might have a problem like he did when Salah went to the press and et cetera, et cetera. In the long term, you'll win.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what Slot does do when everyone is fit, because Alexander Isak will need to play, right? He spent a lot of money in Ekatike, will need to play, so will Florian Wirtz in his only positions for free up front. Eddie Howe, Newcastle, that's a bit of a thumping from them. They started the game really well. The first 30 minutes, they were definitely the team on top. They're currently 10th in the league. It is very congested. A win can take you to 6th. A defeat can take you down to 11th. But they've lost 9 league games. Is he under a bit of pressure? I mean, every manager, I guess, is under pressure. But you know what I mean? Is he under more pressure?
Yeah, he's under pressure because in Newcastle, you're judged on what you've done. Sometimes if you've had the last couple of years which he's had, and he's brought a trophy to the football club, that's the level you were expected to reach every time. So this down period they're having, on the back, by the way, of a European run, which was very similar to when we finished 5th with a great team that I had. The next year we really struggled with the European campaign with league form, and we was lower than where Newcastle are now. Obviously they've invested a lot more money, and I think they've got a great ability to deal with the European run. But I still think that Newcastle fans, and probably Eddie himself, thinks that their league form should be a little bit better with the depth of squad he's got. But they've had injuries too, and I have sympathy for him. But really and truly, the expectations that they have at the football club is brought on by the success of Eddie Howe. So let's not forget that.
Indeed. All right, let's get another update as to what's going on in that game at the Emirates Stadium. Remember, it is the Women's Champions Cup final. Last time we went to Dave, it was Arsenal in the lead against Brazilian champions Corinthians. Is that still the case, Dave Rowe?
Yep, still the case. Arsenal 3, Corinthians 2, with 5 minutes of extra time to go. Caitlin Ford has seen Sam, the hero for Arsenal, with that goal in the first period, and she's had the big chance to make pretty much certain with a big effort in the second period as well. Played through left channel, similar position in fact to where she got the goal, but this time Lela in the Corinthians goal made the save. It has the feeling very much of the way the main 90 minutes was developing, with Arsenal just trying to close close the game out. Corinthians, of course, on that occasion got a dramatic and controversial late penalty to take things into extra time. The Brazilian side have had one chance really in this second period. Albuquerque pouncing on a miscued Arsenal clearance, dragging a shot wide, and as things stand, Arsenal just over 4 minutes away from taking victory in the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup. But still work to do here. Arsenal 3, Corinthians 2.
Big win for Arsenal. This would be massive win.
Yeah, is this another FIFA competition? This is a FIFA competition, isn't it?
It is. It is, which means a lot of money. So big potential win for the women's Arsenal side. Potentially the man's Arsenal side. The men's Arsenal side could go on and win the league. When we come back, we are going to talk about the title race. Arsenal beating Leeds 4-0. Man City dropping points. This is the final word on talkSPORT.
The only problem I have with him, he done it again on the weekend against Arsenal. He played a pass to Mbeumo, and he was at fault for a poor pass. And he's thrown his arms up at Mbeumo, and Mbeumo's actually giving him some back of like, come on, as a player, you don't like players throwing your arm.
Why is that wrong? That happens all the time.
But as a player, having played it at the game, anybody throws your arms up at you, you always have, you don't like it. Ask any players playing now, you don't like it. That's what he let himself down at. Garnacho copied him.
Don't compare Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes.
I'm saying he copied him, I'm not comparing him. I'm saying he copied. It's not a good example when you're throwing your arms up at your teammates. What he does on the pitch, his performances, outstanding.
That because he's from a different culture, from a different sort of upbringing, and
it's
he's
a
got
Portuguese mentality,
demeanour. He has, if you look at Jose Mourinho and the way he conducts himself, it's different to the way that Michael Carrick conducts himself because they're brought up in different cultures. And if you're going to have the World League, which
who else do you see do it?
Loads of players do it. Go watch Spanish football.
In the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's the point, Sam. I spend a lot of time in Portugal, as you know, and they are that sort of mentality. They are an expressive population. So I think that's why it stands
does
out.
it quite a lot, doesn't he? He gets the arm,
but also
arms
just
up in the air.
Graham Souness is going back to a different world, really. I don't want to say prehistoric views, but they don't make captains now like they did in his day. I've got a list of Premier League captains here. I bet you can't tell me who the captain of Fulham and Manchester City is. You were looking at my screen. Tell me who the captain of Manchester City is officially.
Manchester City, is it Bernardo Silva?
Yeah, but is he's not an old school Roy Keane.
He's another one who's quite
John
demonstrative,
Terry
similar
captain.
sort of thing, which shows you that it might well be a Portuguese.
Who's the captain of Fulham?
Fulham is Kenny.
Yeah, but again,
another quick one.
You've been looking over my
I
screen.
I haven't looked at your screen.
But you get my point.
He's the club captain, isn't he?
Yeah, but if you look at Reece James. Good evening, final word. Ade Oladipo, Alan Pardew with you until 9 o'clock. Let's look at the title race, all starting with a huge win
for Arsenal. Leeds 0, Arsenal 4. And Pards, I think when we saw this fixture, bear in mind that Arsenal struggled in the last 3 games in the league, failed to win any of those 3 games. I think everyone looked at this and thought, this could be a problem. The big banana skin at Ellen Road, the fans are right on you, aren't they? At Ellen Road, it's a really tight ground. In the end, Arsenal ran riot. Comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, when you play Leeds United away, one thing that you're going to get tested on is physicality and energy. And you have to match that, and you're in big trouble. And when you beat the top teams, whenever I beat the top teams, you have to excel at that. That's what you have to be better than them at. Okay, they can be technically better than you. They can be better. They have better balance maybe, and some areas of their pitch. The right back and the left back have great coordination, etc., etc. But if you have enough physicality and energy, and you can overpower them, and you can win. Now, Leeds tried to do that, and I thought they were pretty good, actually, Leeds, in the first sort of 20 minutes. But Arsenal dealt with that side of the game. They matched Leeds. I wouldn't say they were a level above Leeds, I think, on that side, but matching them was enough for their technical ability to come to the fore. And set plays obviously got on the lead. They got a nice balance then. They got confidence up. And in the end, they showed their class, really, towards the end, and see the game out comfortably. And I thought the Leeds manager sum up was exactly right. He was spot on. They were far too good on the day. And their most important game comes Friday night against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, it certainly does. Arsenal scored more set-piece goals than anyone else in Europe.
Yeah, and that sprint, I thought about it, because Arsenal introduced it, really. That sprint that they have from the back post to the near post, where they charge to the near post, but they've got like a 10, 15, 20 metre run.
Yeah.
And then the height they get when they jump, that is a problem. And people have tried to block them, tried to put a wall there, and they still managed to get success from it.
Yeah, you think of the Arsenal side.
That was a great corner by Madueke. How he never got given that goal.
Honestly, incredible. Right on the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
When you think of the Arsenal team, especially towards the back end of Wenger's reign, and you look at players, it was diminutive players, wasn't it? It was Carzola, Rizicki.
Yeah.
You look at this Arsenal side right now, and everyone seems to be over 6 foot.
Yeah.
That's why I guess if Leeds wanted a fight, a physical fight, they can do that. They can do that. They can outplay because they've got better players. It's almost a complete Arsenal side, isn't it, the way in which he's set this team up, Arteta?
Well,
apart from maybe going forward, where they seem to struggle, but they still get goals.
Yeah, I still would like to see them play with less emphasis on set plays. And what I mean by that is throw-ins and free kicks. I think they're too regimented in that they always set them up. They always set it up. I think there's times where they could, when they've got good pressure, just keep it going. Yeah. Just get it down and play. And I think they would get more open play goals. Now, that's an awkward balance because obviously the set plays they're terrific at. And Declan Rice can sort of smash that set play in from almost 45 metres out. He can put it on the money on the penalty spot. So it's a difficult one. I get that. And Arteta is definitely siding with we're going to set them all up. But I think, maybe when they get towards the end of the season, if they really get a rhythm, if they get the lead early, maybe they could go into that mode a little bit. I think they would be better for it.
Yeah. Saka didn't play, injured in the warm-up.
Yeah.
What do you think's happened to Saka? He's dropped off a little bit. Is it just too much football? Obviously, he did have that horrific hamstring injury. It's not quite been the Saka this season that Arsenal fans are used to seeing.
No, but when I look at him, I think the opposition done a lot of work on him. He gets doubled up a lot on. There's the central midfield player gets on the inside of the fullback. They don't give him any access. I mean, the one thing about Saka, okay, he will go on the outside and produce crosses, but really and truly he wants to come on the inside and get shots off. So, if you're the opposition, you're not going to let that happen. And I think he's finding that adjustment difficult. Because he's not getting there's no space there. So what option does he have rather than to go on the outside or just play it back into midfield and hope he gets a moment where he gets one-on-one with a fullback and he can get on the inside and get that shot off? I see he forced a couple yesterday in terms of, yesterday, in the week when I watched him. I see him really try, and he was like blocked out and he was still trying to get the shot off. So I think it's like all great players. When the opposition has done their job, they have to find another way.
Yeah, and they are finding another way because they've got so many good players.
Well, that's the other beauty that they have.
Eze, both of them can come in. Arsenal to win the league, 6 points clear. Obviously, look, still loads to go, 14 games to go in the league, and a lot could happen between them and them trying to trace more than just one trophy, it seems. But Arsenal, big favourites for you?
Yeah, I think so. I just think they got too much momentum. I think the manager, his comments this week were interesting because it sounded to me like he'd sat down with a psychologist and the psychologist said, look, you need to go in the press and you need to say this, because that's what it sounded like. It was like, a real positive, upbeat message. And I think that was very well done and well timed. I think he's learned from those second places. He looks a little bit more assured about what he's doing. And so he should be. The tool bag he has is prolific. It's outstanding. So, and it looks like the Arsenal ladies are going to win the World Cup as well.
Yeah, it seems as
so. It's a good weekend for Arsenal all round.
Perfect segue. Let's go to Dave Rowe, who's at the Emirates watching Arsenal versus Corinthians. Dave, what's going on? It looks like there's a player down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Arsenal 3, Corinthians 2. We are 6.5 minutes into stoppage time at the end of extra time, of which only 2 were supposed to be played, but that's because players have been stopped for 5 minutes. It's the Arsenal goalkeeper, Annika Borba, who is down, and I can only imagine she's been concussed in a clash. It's a clash with her teammate, Wubben Moy, as they were looking to prevent the Corinthian striker going through, which they did, so there's no incident there. But Borba, has been plenty of concern over her, the medical staff around her, and she's going to be stretchered off very shortly, and Van Domslaar is going to come on for the final stages. We can only have about 30-35 seconds to go here, but Arsenal are going to see their goalkeeper stretched off. We've had everything happening in this game, including Corinthians coming back twice to equalise, including a controversial late penalty. So more drama in stoppage time of extra time, and when we get going, about half a minute to go, but Arsenal are going to have to make a change in goal. Arsenal 3, Corinthians 2.
Surely Arsenal can hang on for the final 30 seconds in that one. All right, let's talk about the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Arsenal's nearest rivals, Man City, 2-0 up in that game. Spurs clawed it back to 2 apiece. Simple question, I guess. Is there still a genuine title race? Do you feel like you're watching a City team that can put a spin of 4, 5, 6 games back to back to back to get themselves back into this?
No, I just don't think Manchester City are there. When you look at the Manchester City teams that have won the league before, under Pep, by the way, let's put that into perspective. His teams that have won it, because they've won it before with other managers, I think they've all been better than this team. And really based around the back four. Not so much the goalie, because I think the goalie's terrific. I think you could win the league with that goalie, no problem. But I think the back four and Rodri, that number 6 position, I think that's all a little bit too weak. And I don't think there's a cohesion about them. I don't think there's an actual belief in the group that they can do it and overturn it. Having said that, when you look at the league table, it still looks doable for Manchester City. Obviously, they got Arsenal to come to the Etihad. So, yeah, as the Man City fan we had on earlier pointed out, it's still all to play for. Realistically, Arsenal, for me, have got it.
Yeah, it does seem that way, right? This Arsenal team look unstoppable at the moment, but it's Pep, it's City, they've got Haaland, who knows? All right, coming up next, before we hand the baton over to Danny Kelly, we reveal who the mystery footballer was, and we talk about dancing managers as well. That's next on the final word. On to, what?
That's my game.
Yeah, on talkSPORT.
got to say though, I mean, I am with Dino on this one really, as opposed to yourself, Jay. But I think Thomas Frank should be given Tom. I think the trouble is, you see, it's too easy to sort of say, oh, we're not doing well, sack the manager, right? He's only been in the job 6 months. Let's be frank here, right? I'm going to spell it out for the other fans, right? They're listening to your glorious channel, right? We finished 17th in the league. He has not taken over a team that finished in the top 4. We qualified the Champions League because we won that trophy.
Yeah, we won the Europa League and we had a load of injuries and we sacked off the Premier League at the end of last season. So, yeah, I know we finished 17th and it wasn't good enough. I get that. But there needed to be a massive improvement. With the players that we've got, we shouldn't be where we are in the table. You can't... The performances, Chris, are not acceptable in the Premier League. That's your bread and butter. And look, we're a great side in the Champions League and we're a joy to watch. But that's got to go into the Premier League performances.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, look, we should have done better against Burnley. There's no question about that. But I do think as well, again, this is where with Dino in this one, right? The thing is, I don't think it's all Thomas Frank's fault, right? We need, right, and the thing.
Good evening, final word on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo, Alan Pardew. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, you must know this is now. Guess the player. That was Gazzetta Football Italian music first. Bat out of hell, Meatloaf. Get it right, Ade. And Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer. That last one's kind of like a double clue. When you think about it, Peter Gabriel and Sledgehammer. I mean, this guy had a sledgehammer of a right foot.
Oh, well, that's a little...
No, come on. I'm giving you a double clue. Double clue. And the answer is, do you know?
Gabriel.
It is Gabriel Batigol Batistuta. So many people got it right, but it was Chris from Colchester who got it right first. Well done, Chris.
Well done, Chris.
Gabriel Batistuta, by the way, turned 56 today.
No.
56.
Oh my goodness, that makes me feel old. No, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there.
He said recently that
I was enjoying the show up until then.
It was good. We've got 5 minutes left. He said he no longer watches football because there's no strikers like him or Christian Vieri anymore.
No, well.
Yeah, it's probably got a bit of truth in that. All right, it is all over at the Emirates. Arsenal were hosting Brazil's Corinthians in the inaugural Women's Champions Cup final. And Dave, have they managed to hang on?
And Arsenal have indeed won it. It finished Arsenal 3, Corinthians 2 after an extraordinary game. All sorts of twists and turns, and no doubt those who instigated this new FIFA competition have certainly had what they wanted in terms of drama. Arsenal, the Champions League winners last summer, have now added this new Champions Cup. They've done it in a dramatic game. The opening goal in the first half scored by Olivia Smith after Bastenia's shot was saved, but Corinthians levelled from a messy, scrappy corner. Zanotti with the final touch to make it 1 apiece. Moy headed Arsenal into a 2-1 lead in the second half from a great cross by Emily Fox. That looked to be the winner until a controversial late penalty saw Corinthians equalise deep in stoppage time, with Albuquerque firing home after Robledo was adjudged to have been fouled by McCabe. VAR getting involved in that one. Arsenal, though, did get the winner in extra time. Caitlin Ford, the hero, attacking down the left-hand side to place a shot inside the near post of Leila, and then more drama at the end when, unfortunately, goalkeeper Borba was stretchered off after a collision with a teammate, Wilbur Moy, and Van Domselaar came on for those final 30 seconds. The Corinthian fans, they've added plenty to the occasion as well. The Corinthians players taking plenty of applause for their performance, but Arsenal, the Champions League champions, are now the first ever Champions Cup winners of this FIFA competition. It is finished. Arsenal 3, Corinthians 2.
Yeah, it's really good, by the way. We've got the visuals here to see the Corinthian fans all stand behind, all clapping their players. The players have gone over to see the Corinthian fans as well, which is really good. Is this a good omen for Arsenal?
Well, I mean, perfect timing, by the way, for us. I mean, we're almost at the end of the show, and Arsenal got it over the line. And it's nice to have that little huddle at the end. That's the manager. She's just giving them a little bit of like, well, you deserve it, blah, blah, blah. We're all in it together. Lovely, a little bit of banter on the back of a victory. Easy, that one.
Told you. See, since I went early, I told you when they scored the third goal, it was over. I told you. I went early, but I got it right. All right, at the Amex yesterday, birthday boy Beto scored in the 98th minute to rescue a point for Everton against Brighton. What followed, though, was David Moyes doing his best David Pleat impression as he celebrated the goal on the pitch. Graham Kavanagh then had to book him. He booked the Toffees boss, which prompted this reaction from David Moyes.
Imagine booking for celebrating. Eh? Who wants to see managers getting booked for celebrating? You know what I mean? I don't think I'd have danced down if the goal was in the 55th minute, if you know what I mean. But it means they've got nothing about them at all. No thoughts about what football means or what it means to the managers, without absolutely just saying, no, you just can't step outside that line and I'm going to book you. That's sad, isn't it? Sad. You know what I mean? I'm still shaking my head. You know what I mean? I bloody will do it again. Actually, I think if I had been a bit more mobile, I might have done a knee slide. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That would have only got me a yellow as well. So I might as well gone the whole hog.
He's fantastic, is Moisey. He's right, though, isn't it? I mean, football's about
sad.
Passion,
Very sad, David.
Celebration.
Very sad.
Yeah, but he is correct, isn't he? I mean, look, Graham Kavanagh's probably let the law, you know.
Listen, I think there's a problem in the Premier League, right? We're churning out these kind of managers who have no personality, literally don't offer anything on the sideline, very much textbook kind of, philosophy and blah, blah, blah. And the structure of my team was sound today. We got beat. But, we played some excellent football, and I thought the balance of our midfield and the compression we had in certain areas was excellent. And, sometimes, football isn't like that. It's more, character and personality. And David celebrating there, Mourinho in the week celebrating with a ball boy. That's football. Yeah. If you don't live and die the game, then don't do it, in my opinion. And certainly a few more kind of characters on the sideline wouldn't go amiss, and I'm available.
Yeah, well, we've seen you on the sidelines as well.
I do a bit on the sideline.
We've certainly seen you on the sidelines. Yeah. You've been scribbling away there, Pods. I did ask you to do a bit of homework.
Yeah, just for a bit of fun. You ready?
Yeah, go on.
I've done an Arsenal Man City team this year, right? Combined. So this is the team I'd pick. I'd pick that little trio: Raya, Gabriel, and Saliba. Right? I'm not going to interfere with Donnarumma with that. He's got a chance of getting in that.
No Gahey.
So this is the Man City Arsenal combined 11.
Yeah.
Timber right back, Calafiori left back. Yeah. No Gahey.
No Gahey.
Although I love him to bits. Midfield: Rice, Zubamendi.
Yeah.
And Silva. I put Bernard in front of Odegaard, although that's a tough call, that one. On the right, I'm sticking with Saka, although I know you were digging him out early.
No, I wasn't digging him out.
Yeah, you are. You're trying to have a pop at him. Haaland through the middle. And on the left, I would have Doku, right? Doku?
Over Semenyo.
Over Semenyo, but I have got that as a close call.
So wait, how many? What's that? 3 City players?
Only 3.
Wow.
Yeah, all that money and all that. Do you know what?
8 Arsenal players.
Do you know what people forget about this league campaign that we're having?
Go on.
When are these fines coming for Man City?
yeah, the 150.
How long have we got left?
Yeah, no, yeah. When's it going to happen?
What's all that about?
Yeah, I don't know.
So let's just say Man City go on a 15 game, 14 game, whatever it is, unbeaten one, win the league. Arsenal miss out on goal difference or a point, and then the league goes, actually, some of those charges are applicable, and that league title is now out. We're going to take it off you in mid-July.
Be awful.
It would be
and Arsenal fans wouldn't even want to accept it, would they?
No, it'd be the worst possible scenario. Yeah. So the FA or whoever's in charge of that whole disciplinary procedure, please let's get on with it. Yeah. Let's get a conclusion.
Can we make a decision now, please? Because it does feel like it's dragged on quite a lot. All right, the talkSPORT Breakfast returns on Monday morning where Jeff Stelling is joined by Super Ali McCoist. But if you need some music in your life, who doesn't? Swipe across on the talkSPORT app to the Virgin Radio Breakfast Show with Chris Evans. And from 6:30, there's a talkSPORT Transfer Deadline show hosted by the one and only Jim White, Mr. Transfer Deadline himself.
I think it'll be a busy day tomorrow.
Busy. You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Do you really see something happening?
Yeah, I've heard a few whispers. I think it'll be a busy
Liverpool,
day.
anything?
I'm not saying.
Right.
Busy day.
Tell me after.
The boys will be on it tomorrow.
All right, Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy is going to join him, as well as our chief football correspondent Alex Crook, and there have all the break-in transfer news as the window slams shut at 7 p.m. The Final Word returns next Sunday. Madge is back, but up next is one of the best shows on the radio as the brilliant Danny Kelly brings you the Trans Europe Express right here on talkSPORT. Thank you for listening.